everybody, and welcome to the show. Yeah, today on Bugbear's Basement, we got something very different for you, as we try to do over here on Bugbear's Basement. But welcome, welcome. I am Chester C. Busby III, and we're very happy to have you here today. What we're going to be doing today, of course, as we had set up last week in our zero session, was we're going to be playing a Marvel superheroes role-playing game, of course, of our own. We're not going to be playing Marvel at all. I've created a little world, and I have 4 acts set out, which is going to be done over the next 4 weeks, to as an introduction to how you play this game. And hey, if we like it, maybe we'll expand upon it and do more things. But we thought it would be really interesting to show that to you. Before I get into that, though, I want to come over here and say hello to our guest we have here today, and we'll get back to you guys over there. But keep in mind that hit that share button so we can get more people in here, please. Thank you very much. Let me come over here to the panel and say hello, Todd. How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. I'm really not here to play, but maybe I could pitch a little bit. If you guys haven't backed Tales from Beyond the Gate, at least take a look at it. You're gonna get a lot of bang for your buck. Over 160 pages. If we get this thing fully funded, you're gonna get a lot of art and a lot of stories, and by people you know. You know what I mean? We've brought you in. We've gotten to know you. We're willing to have you on the show on different things that Chester does here. So we're not your typical creators who sort of put up a wall between you and the audience. We try to interact with you, and by doing so, by trying to bring you some entertainment too. So if you'll take a look at Tales from Beyond the Gate on Indiegogo, you really don't want to pass it up.
No, absolutely not. Thank you very much, Todd. And of course, we know you're real busy on a bunch of stuff, and we're real happy for you, dude. And congratulations on all of the opportunities you've gotten. And that's kind of what we're trying to do with Tales from Beyond the Gate is garner more opportunity for people. But congratulations to you, man. You got the
True, because there's some definite people that I think, I'm hitting a career sort of high point. I have work lined up for the next, I would say, year and a half, and that's key, and that's paid work. It puts Ignition off to the side for a while, but there are guys in this book that could easily be me tomorrow. Be, be brought in on a project that is paying work. They're that good. There's like Tank is really good. John Dillard's really good. Eric Weathers, Kevin Stewart.
yeah.
I love J Potts. His work is really fantastic. Now he's a guy like me, a little older, but he could still do it because Kirby didn't create Fantastic Four until he was 44 years old.
Wow.
So never say never. Never think that you're ever too old to accomplish a dream, because becoming a very good artist and learning sort of the basics of or the fundamentals of how to tell a story. If you're gonna do it without an education, it's gonna take you time. You really have to mature into an adult to view things and think that, sort of lose your ego and get over some hurdles to really become a good artist.
Yeah, that's definitely true, and we've learned that over the past so many months being here, interacting, talking to artists and stuff. It's absolutely true, and it's been a wonderful eye opener for me, for sure. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us, Todd, and hopefully you'll enjoy what we got going on today. Moving over here, we got George. Hey, George. George, turn your mic on, George.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. It's wonderful. And we're looking forward to this. I'm right in the middle of helping my wife cook, and I'm here in spirits. I'll hook my microphone back on so you don't hear me clanking and all that stuff. Love you all. Bye.
Okay, thank you, George. That was very brief and very nice.
Nice.
And of course, we are also joined by the chairman himself, Mr. DeWolf. How you doing, dude?
Hello, doing all right. Pretty excited to do something new here in the basement. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
doing
we're
good.
doing something new. Yeah, and that's the cool thing about the basement, right? We use the Bugbear's basement as a show for us to, do whatever we want, right? To be eclectic and try all kind of different things. We've done board games, comic reviews, and now we're doing a role playing game, and who knows what we'll do here. So it's awesome. And they're saying that I am super quiet. Well, I shall try my best to do this. Does this help? Does this make me more kind of How about
Yeah,
that?
it does.
Is that better? I think that's probably better. But thank you for telling me, Obi-Wan. But yeah, no, DeWolf, we got ourselves a real fun game to go on here today, so we'll get to that momentarily. But of course, I need to come over and say hello to the Denali Lama. Hey, dude.
Hey guys, hey gangs, happy to be here. Going to do fun stuff today with the Marvel Superhero RPG classic version. So
Yep.
it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, I
So
hopefully
thank you.
hopefully it will.
Yeah, so I hope everybody enjoys first session. Hopefully we don't bore Todd off the chat. And if you have ideas or anything that you want us to do at the basement, throw it at us because we want to know.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to do as many interesting things as we can here, and this is kind of our fun time as well. Not that we don't have fun all the time, because we do, but this is a place where it's the basement. We can just try new things and see how they see. Throw them at the wall and see if they stick as it is. And he says, "Now you're super loud." Well, thank you very much, Joshua. You are the most awesome troll ever, and that's what I need. I need you to oppose everything else everyone else says. Hey, Ray Thulu's in here, the old TSR edition. You better believe it, brother. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off here, and I'm going to do a little bit of a spiel as far as explaining the game a little bit, and it's pretty easy actually. So let me come over here, and I'm going to go and I'm going to share with our panel, of course, because we want them to be able to see. And let me see here. All right, okay. All right, so let me bring it over here. And first thing I'm going to demonstrate to you guys is this. Now, this is the core of the game. Now, in this game, we use percentile dice. Now, back when I was playing, we literally just had two 10-sided dice, and that's it. But these days, they got fancy things like a percentile dice, which has tens on it, and a normal 10-sided dice. So it makes it real, real simple. And we're all going to be using that today. But this game is based upon that, and it's really kind of cool. Now, if you remember from last week, I had given power ranks, right? And I put them all in the middle of the power ranks. And the reason why, like if you look at the standard ones up top here, where let me put my mouse over here so you can see. So we have like typical, and there's a 6, and good, there's a 10, excellent, there's a 20, right? And I put them right in the center because they've spent 2 years training to do what they're about to do. So that makes sense that they would be rounded and ready. But if you look down below, there's a number like, so with the excellent, you have a 20, there's a number that is 16 to 25, and that's their range, right? And in this game, it's very different than if you played a normal role-playing game, which tend to be based upon experience points and levels and things like that. And that's all good and fun, good and well. But this game doesn't do like that. You're starting out with a superhero, a powerful one. Right. And as we gain karma or experience in game, you can use that karma to apply it to the points. Like for instance, they're starting with a 20. So say they have an excellent in their strength. So they're kind of like a Wolverine type strength, right? And they have their 20, but they want to try to get that stronger and eventually get it to the remarkable rank over here next to it. Well, then they would spend 200 of their karma, and that would give them a 21, etc., etc., etc. When they hit 26, they enter into the next column in this example. And the columns are important because, as you see, when you roll your percentile dice, you will either get depending on what you roll, and one of you guys go ahead and roll me your percentile dice and give it to me. Tell me what the number is. Anybody?
We're all lost at the
I
moment.
got
What happened?
I got 7 and 20.
Okay,
27.
you have to give me a percentile dice, George.
What?
Percentile. I need
14.
1 to 100.
14.
Okay, 14. Now, if we look under this excellent column of 14, you'll see, I see the 14s over here, 1 to 15. We bring it all the way over, and it's a white. Now, white is failure. Okay. Now, say they had rolled a 41 or above with an excellent ability, then that would be in a green. Then we have a yellow and a red. Now, what does that mean? A green is a basic success, a yellow is a better success, and a red is a critical success. And depending on the situation, it will depend on what you need. Now, I can show that up here really easily. Now, you see, we have all these charts at the top. And the cool thing about this game, you could play the whole game off this one page. everything can be done right here. And that's the cool thing about it, right? If we look over here, we have blunt attacks, which could be anything, like hitting someone with a club or just, punching them in the head, right? Then you show here that a green is a standard hit, or yellow is a slam, which means they can be. I got an earthquake going on here. Hold on a second.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah, typical Japan earthquake.
That's a long one though.
Mm.
Hold on. All right, it's done. All right. Anyway, so
This is-
here we
Once
see.
Chester stopped bouncing around, we can get
Yes,
back
once
to the
I start
stream.
bouncing around. But all right, this is a yellow one, and the yellow in this case, when with blunt attacks, is a slam. That means you can potentially knock the opponent back, and then of course stun is stun. We also see some are kill or bullseyes or grabs, escapes, whatever. There's various things you can do in the game, and they all depend on your color feet. It's a very different system than you're used to than with the normal D&D stuff and plus ones and hitting and such. So it's kind of cool the way it works. And we're going to definitely display that. Now, what I need to do first, though, is I need to come back over to the guys here. And what I need you to do on your character sheets is next to your karma, I need you to write down, you'll have a number that I gave you for your karma, which is a total of your reason, intuition, and psych. Now, next to that number, I need you to write the word active. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And then next to that active, you want to write the same number that is in front of it, right? So if you have like 60 karma, then you want to write 60 next to active. Okay.
I just put a slash.
No, I need you to put the number, actually.
I mean, instead of the word active.
It's up to you, just as long as you remember what it's for. And then
Okay, good.
after that active number, you want to put the word XP, and of course, we haven't got any yet, so there's nothing next to that. And then what this means is, as we're playing, I house rule it a little bit because normally your karma is just one thing and it applies to everything, but that doesn't work very well for me, I think. So what we're going to do is your active karma, what we do with karma in this game is kind of interesting. You can use karma to make your roll higher. Say you really want to get a yellow or you really need a red success, you can either use a certain number of karma or you can leave it open-ended. Now, of course, that could deplete your entire karma, or you could get unlucky or what have you. But karma is used to try to give you an edge in the game, and it's a very cool little touch. And we see a lot of modern games are using various things to try to play upon that. And this was done back in the 70s, right? When these games originally came out. It's a very nice little application. And what happens is every day, after a night's sleep, of course, you get back your psych in karma. So over time, your active karma will come back to its maximum, right? Whereas the XP we gain karma in play, we can use that for various things like leveling up or power stance or stuff, which I'll explain later. But anyway, I just want to give a general laydown of how that works, and then I'm going to go ahead and move over to our introduction. Now, does anybody here have a question? Any questions about that at all?
So just say that for example, we're doing an agility check. So we roll the percentage, we get a 20, just to say off the hand. Do we add 20 plus the agility, or we're just
Nope.
doing just with the roll?
You're just doing a straight off roll, and the power of your ability, depending on what it is, comes underneath the column. That's it. There's no and plus ones like you with your talents or certain abilities and things you have gives you a +1 column shift. So say your stat is a remarkable, for instance, and you have a +1 to whatever applies to that stat, then it would bring you to the incredible column to roll. It's very straightforward. It's very simple. It's a lot of fun. It creates a lot of tension, and with karma added, it adds that sense of suspense. Oh, do I want to use it or should I save it or what have you? It's a really, really good system. I like it a lot, and it's so straightforward and simple as well. Okay, and we'll get into more of the little details as we go along. It's really a very simple system. All you need is a percentile dice. That's all you need, right? You don't need anything else. We're gonna you'll see as we play how it works out. Okay. Any other questions? No. Is it me or are they confused? It's okay. It'll work out, guys. Because this
I have
system. Yeah, go ahead, George.
The basement, does it come with a humidifier?
Okay, George. Yeah.
I've been asking him about getting one for a while now.
I know. I guess we kind of need one. But this system is very different than other role playing games. It is true. But once you start doing it, it's really a lot easier, and it's one of my favorite systems. So we'll see. We'll just get into it, and it's best. The easiest way to do is just to play it. But understand that all your stats have a rank from anything from Shift 0 all the way up to Class 1000. And whatever the column is that your power is, that is what you're rolling under. So say you have a monstrous ability, well, you roll under that column, which means in that case that a 21 or higher is going to be some manner of success. So that's what we're doing with it. But anyway, let's move on and get into the actual story that we're going to be playing here today. Okay? Any is that all the questions? All right.
Yes.
Let me come over here and make sure that everything is being shown. All right, perfect. All right, and you guys are seeing it. Yes, you are. All right, so here we go, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of give the layout to the world that we're in and give a kind of introduction to it, and then we'll start playing. All right, so here we go. It was on the night of the Olympic Games. The whole world was watching as usual, and the opening ceremonies were going on. Everyone was wondering how things would go. Would their country win or be successful? Would the opening ceremonies be better than the one before? Would it be interesting? All those kind of things, silly and not, that go along with an Olympics. And then the the air, the atmosphere turned green. It was very odd. People didn't understand. Commentators and such started talking on the news, as the talking heads always do, on the 24-hour news channels, coming forward and saying, "Oh, well, the aurora borealis is being pushed down because of some kind of electrical storm in space." But as it went on, people knew that something strange was happening. It was worldwide, whether day or night, didn't matter. And for 24 hours, this stayed. But during that time, the sky grew darker and darker. This green mist creating an eerie feel across the planet. Everywhere was reporting the same. And then the storms started. The rain came torrential. The green hue was always present. The rains lasted for 3 solid days, torrential rains worldwide for 3 days. The devastation was undeniable. Death tolls, disasters, property damage. But through it, the world survived. Many agencies try to work for trying to help each other. Various countries tried to help themselves and others as well, as usual, and it became a big news event. But over the next 7 days, things became darker. People began getting sick. People began dying. They didn't know what to do. What was happening? What had hit them? What had affected the world? And then they arrived. The 10th day, an alien species arriving in a
Ah,
ship. At first, people were terrified. What is going on? We're dying from this strange green rain, and now aliens are coming? What is happening? Is this the end of the world? Is this Judgment Day? But of course, it actually turned out to be a positive. The aliens tried to soothe our worries, and they immediately started helping. They came in multiple ships, and they explained to us over our broadcast systems what had happened. They told us that they and an alliance of other aliens across the galaxy had come together to fight a mad god that was trying to take domination over everything. They had succeeded in destroying the body of the god, but they could not destroy its mind. And as the mind of the god flew, its consciousness ripping across the galaxy, it passed by our planet. It took 3 whole days for the consciousness to pass. That is how vast it was. And in its time, this God, its consciousness, its blood touched us. And in doing so, created the devastation. The aliens are quite apologetic. They had not intended for this to happen. They did not know it would happen. But yet, they took responsibility and they helped us. Over the coming years, many things happened. The initial death tolls were quite high. The sickness took 80% of all those struck. But something odd happened with the 20% who survived. Now, not all humans were affected, of course, but a large percentage of them were. But that 20% that were affected, they started displaying abilities. Now, this terrified many, but having the presence of the aliens, keeping things together, keeping things cohesive, and helping, as they always did, kept things from erupting into war and complete chaos. Now, these people who displayed these abilities, they became called the God Touched, for thinking that the God's consciousness, its very blood, had touched them and had made them into what they are. But as the decades went by, things became positive. For the first 2 decades, the aliens were there with us, helping us all along the way. But then an emergency took them away. They did leave something to help protect us, to help guide us. They left the Sentinel. And the Sentinel was quite useful for some time in keeping peace. But then, a mere 3 years after they had gone, the Sentinel was killed. There was no contact with aliens. We had no way to communicate with them. Although we had started moving into our own solar system more, we did not have the ability to travel in an interstellar manner. We had no way to communicate with them. We were left by ourselves. And of course, chaos ensued. Over the coming decades, war erupted everywhere, as would be expected. But eventually, things did begin to find some sense of peace. In that peace, in that final time where things began to settle and trade began to come back, we found ourselves not a mere 195 countries as we had been before this all began, but thousands, and most of them taking up the old concept of the kingdom, the feudal setup, because many of the God Touch were the ones now in charge. Some kingdoms had put themselves together, calling themselves collectives or democracies or what have you, simply to protect themselves. Some didn't even allow anything that would be considered a mutation into their lands. These stresses came, and there needed to be some kind of guidance, some kind of overarching rule, and it did come. It came in the form of the UKA, the United Kingdoms Alliance. And the UKA did its best to try to come to an agreement with any problems they had. It has been 60 years now since the God's blood fell on Earth. And in that time, we have learned many things. We have gone into our solar system. We have technology that just baffles the mind. For the God touched not only can be terrifying, they can also bring great things with their great ingenious that some of them have. But the world sits as it is. And therefore, to try and bring peace back and keep it stable and keep things from falling into the ultra chaos that has happened before, various organizations have come together to do so. One such organization calls themselves the Brotherhood of the Sun. The Brotherhood of the Sun is not a secret organization per se, and they do have direct contacts with the UKA, almost as if they have been given the right to police upon their own. And one of the things that the Brotherhoods of the Sun have done is they were instrumental part because of the wealth that they have in building the floating cities that now dot the atmosphere of our planet. The initial ones were done in a series of 9, and they whimsically named them after the planets themselves. Our team here finds themselves gathered together because of various abilities, no matter where they're from, and they have been gathered onto Jupiter. Jupiter is the Erie in which they now find themselves based. The Jupiter Erie is one of the largest ones, actually, appropriate for its name. And of course, our team here that we're going to be following have been studying for 2 years to learn themselves, to gain combat abilities, espionage abilities, and also to understand their powers completely. And they are called Jupiter 10. They are the 10th team of Jupiter. And they are going to be going into an interesting little adventure today. Now, this is the introduction to our story. So, does anyone have any questions for me when it comes to our world that we're playing in?
Not
Holy
yet.
smokes! When is this going to be made into a movie?
Huh?
Yes, George, that's what happens. Every role-playing game that a GM creates himself is usually worthy of a book, a comic, or a movie.
It usually is.
I am flabbergasted.
He's flabbergasted.
Well, I'm glad
Maybe
you
he's
like it.
gabberflasted.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. So that's our setting, guys. And what we're going to be doing is, you guys have actually finished your training about 10 days ago. You graduated, and you now have an actual official license, might I say, license to kill. And you guys have had a few days off, and it's been 10 days, and you get a notification on your armbands or your cell phones or what have you, that you have a meeting. So you guys all show up to that meeting to find out what your first mission is. You're probably quite excited about it. You've been training and waiting for so long. And of course, what this does in this situation, from a role playing point of view, is it allows our team to be a cohesive unit. They know each other really well. Right? They've been together for 2 years. Now, whether they love each other, like each other, are annoyed by each other, doesn't matter. They know each other very well. But eventually, you guys find yourself on time at the meeting, and of course, you are talking for the first time. Really, you've seen him speak a couple of times. You've seen him move around Jupiter itself, but it's the first time for you to be speaking directly to Alistair Tillman. Now, Alistair Tillman here, he is the team boss of Jupiter, so he's in charge of all 10 teams. Now, you guys know while you were training, there were a couple of them are a little before you, and there's a couple of them that are still training. So, these teams are always in the process of trying to create them, and all the other Eries also have their own teams, of course. But he calls you in and he says, "Thank you, please, and congratulations for graduating. I'm very happy to see you all here, and as that everyone made it through. Captain Hughes told me that you're quite an up and coming and inspirational team. So I'm really thank you very much to Captain for training you so well. But please sit. And this guy, he goes and he describes to you your very first mission. And this is how it goes. He explains that right now in the world, they're having a major problem that they're focusing on. The whole organization is focused on this problem because there is a Tong called the Blue Lotus. Now, the Blue Lotus is no, it's no different than any other gang. They're always troublesome, and to be honest, the Brotherhood of the Sun very rarely deals with such lowly things as a gang. But the Blue Lotus has proven themselves to be worthy of attention because the Blue Lotus here, they have somehow found a way to control the God touched. Now, that is a real big problem, and they need to understand how they're doing it, and they need to clamp this down. So they have teams all over the world interacting with this, and you are no different. And they need you to go down to Pittsburgh, which is actually become a city state now, and they need you to do some research for them. Now, they're not putting you directly against the Blue Lotus, but they have learned there's a gang down in Pittsburgh that is doing the bidding of the Blue Lotus, and they're trying to capture God touched children. And the gang is called the Razorbacks, and they need you guys to go and find out information and, if possible, shut down their operations. And they say to you that, of course, you will have all the standard appointments as you would any team would normally have. But do you have any kind of questions for Mr. Tillman here as to your mission?
Well, yes, certainly. First off, we got a full dossier of the intel of their location. Is that correct?
That's right.
All right. We appreciate that. I'll have a look over that, please.
Okay. Of course, he shifts that over to your electronic device that you have.
Right here, over here. Yeah, I got a question. Raising my hand.
Yes, you are. Please tell me. Tell me, who are you?
I'm Ragnarok. Ragnarok.
Yes, Ragnarok. Now, of course, at this moment, what I want to do is take a time to introduce each character. So, go ahead, Denali, and tell us about Ragnarok and give us a layout of who this character is.
Ragnarok is a kid who is in his it's just turned 15 just the other day, so he's going to be stressing out. He's 15, and I'm ready to go, and I'm going to be awesome because it's a great opportunity. He's a legacy character. His parents had passed away due to one of the numbers wars, and was part of the orphanage that the Jupiter Order of the Suns group has nurture for possible teams. Part of this is seeing if they can incorporate these God Touch children as part of the policing force that they're operating in. My character is a bit wiry, very excitable, very energetic, like an energizing battery, and he's going to interrupt you no matter what. Anyways,
goodness.
carry on.
One question. What is Ragnarok's psyche?
His psych.
Psyche. It's 6.
Good.
Yeah, perfect, right? As a kid, as it should be. Now, tell him a little bit about
Yeah.
your power set, though, Ragnarok.
My power set is body resistance. I have a strong durability. I go, I attack, and I break the wall. Break
Yes,
the wall.
he's extremely powerful, actually. He's about the same strength as Spider-Man, as far as a comparison for everybody listening. All right, cool. And now, of course, DeWolf, you had asked for the information, and of course, he's thrown all that information over to the electronic devices that everybody has. But
Right.
while you're looking over that dossier, which I'll answer any questions you have about it, of course. But while you're doing that, why don't you describe your character to the chat here?
Well, certainly. Envoy is mostly a mentalist, if you will, with the mental powers of telepathy. I can communicate with other people and the team, which is very important because at this stage of the game, and why I wanted to know what Ragnarok's psyche was since his is lower than mine, I can very easily communicate with his brain without him fighting back very easily. Because what I would want to do often is mentally tell him to be quiet without disrupting who we may be actually having a verbal conversation with. In the meantime, I can also use my telekinesis powers, giving myself flight abilities and coating myself in a sheath of bioelectric energy. And of course, the reason why I want the dossier is because I have clairvoyance. I can see things at great distances.
That's right. Yeah, and keep in mind.
So as soon as I know a location, intel on what the best place for insertion might be.
Yes, that's a very good point, and we'll get to that momentarily. Just to let you know that telepathy is free with a friendly mind. However, so yeah, well, who knows
I know,
what'll happen,
but
right? Yeah.
He may not be friendly in a few moments.
True. Becky, and of course, it's appropriate that Denali's character doesn't have a very high psych because he's a kid. He doesn't really have life experience and stuff like that. And depending on the character, now we have a couple other guys who are going to play it. I don't know where they are right now, but for instance, Bill probably is a much older person in this game because he's playing a cyborg. So maybe he started out as a soldier and then he went through a got blown up somehow and went through a cybernetic program. So he could possibly be much older. Whereas depending, the character is going to be more, recruits are going to be somewhere under 30 more than likely. But what is the age of your character, DeWolf?
I'd say just upper 20s.
Yeah,
so
sure.
he's been around. He's got some experience. He knows his powers. He's well into his. He fills out his boots well, but he's not greatly experienced.
Okay, and let's get to our last description. Now, so far, George's character has been very quiet, but George, why don't you introduce your character to everybody, man?
My character's called, her superhero name is Ricky the Mongoose.
Okay.
She's age 21. She's a breed. Her powers are hyperspeed.
Way to go.
Ricky the Mongoose, I love it.
Yeah. Ricky Tiki Tabi, right?
Danger sense is remarkable.
We don't need all that layout. We just need to know what your character is, George.
Okay. She's a female. She's a breed, age 21, and she's hyperactive.
She's a speedster. That's what your character's is. She's a speedster, right?
Speech.
She's kind
All
of
right.
like a female Flash, and she has some other abilities that make her unique. But in the superhero gaming, whether it be a video game or tabletop gaming, there are certain categories things fall into. Like you have the mentalist, you have where is over here with or a scion, depending on the game system, right? With DeWolf, with Denali's character, he's a powerhouse, or possibly another word would be a brick. We also have speedsters, we have brawlers, we have tanks, we have all these kind of standard words that are used. And your character basically is a speedster, George.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a speedster.
yeah. And that's cool. So, but keeping in that mindset as what now you're nowhere near the speed, the speeds that Flash can move. But if you keep in mind that you're like Flash, this will help you understand how you should use your character, right? And you get a few
Okay.
little extra powers that allow you to do things like your light emissions that your character has. You can, when you're moving around and stuff like that, you're generating this light, and you've learned how to direct and control it. So you can blast people with laser light and stuff like that, right? Okay. And the other guys aren't here right now, but hopefully
Okay.
they'll
Yeah.
they'll join us. Okay, George, you have any questions?
No questions. Regarding the dice, I'm looking at it right now.
Hmm.
It's the one in the middle and the one at the far right
That's right. That's
that I
right.
have to
Yeah.
choose. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
And when we
Excellent.
get into gameplay, I will help direct you as to what you need to do with your character, because combat is very straightforward. But this game particularly is about using your abilities in a clever way. Right. A lot of games like D&D, for instance, are very straightforward. I strike them, and then I use my divine smite or whatever, what have you, your character's ability they have, and it's very straightforward. There's not a lot of cleverness involved. There's a little bit occasionally, but this game is all about using your abilities in a clever way. And the cool thing about it is you can take a power, like say for instance, George, your light power, which right now is simply emission, right? Which is your ability to basically shoot out laser light. But say you wanted to learn how to make a hologram out of your light, or learn how to control it and make structures, solid structures out of your light. You can learn to do that. And that's part of the power stunt system. And the power stud system is really simple. You spend 100 comma points to make an attempt. If you succeed at that attempt, that counts as one. After you finish 5 successful attempts, then you have that listed as a straight power you can use at will. Right? And that's a cool little thing about this system. It allows you to build your character in play, which is something other systems don't do. There's a lot of little clever things like that in the Marvel superhero role playing game that I think we're going to notice over time. And hopefully, by the time we're done with these 4 acts that I've prepared for us, you guys will understand why I love this system so much.
Hey, Chester.
Yeah.
In my games, I like to give each player one free power stunt. Per
Yeah,
game.
I've done it like that before, but I prefer earning it, and that's why I've cut the power stunt requirement in half. Normally you have to have
Oh, I
10,
see what you've done
but I
there.
cut
I'm
it in
with you.
half.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because normally you can buy your own. You can just buy a power straight out for 1,000 karma. And
Yeah.
which maybe you will do that, right? But I would rather, if you're power stunting off a power you already have, it should be easier to do. Therefore, I only make it 5 attempts. But we'll get
Okay.
into that as we go along, and you guys will see there's a whole bunch of little cleverness about this game. But nevertheless, the dossier. You guys are all looking at it, and the information. Of course, this is a compartmentalized group, the Brotherhood of the Sun or the Order of the Sun. They are very much kind of like a government agency in a way. Now, they're private technically, and they're very wealthy, and you guys don't know anything beyond the recruiting of them and the public image of them, which is these really good guys, almost like a police force of sorts, that is trying to bring and more importantly, keep the peace. Because the planet is extremely fragmented. There are literally thousands of different nations right now across the planet, and not only there, we've also started colonizing Mars and asteroids and stuff. It's in its infancy, but it's already begun. So technology, this is a super high tech game, and in this game there are really 3 basic power sources, right? You have the God's touched which are mutants, right? You have tech-based, which is high enough to be on par with the mutant. So there's tech available to match pretty much any ability that a mutant can do, right? And then of course the last is magic. It's known to exist, but it's not openly present though. It's not something you see every day. But this is the world they, excuse me. Why am I having trouble with that? This is the world they live in. It's a super high tech one. Really, if you want to get an idea of what the world looks like right now, imagine like Fifth Element with a little bit of cyberpunk thrown on top. I would say it's kind of like that.
Mhm.
Um, there is some areas that are far more dystopian than others, and you guys are about to drop from Jupiter, which is an absolutely gorgeous, paradise of
Right.
technology, right? And you're about to drop into New Pittsburgh, which is a dystopian disaster. All right. But anyway, the dossier. Um, in this dossier, they don't really talk about the Blue Lotus very much at all. They do mention that the Blue Lotus is the overarching controlling group, that they are a Tong out of Asia, and that they have somehow found a way to control the God Touch. And this has never been able to be done before. You've never heard of such a thing ever. You can, and of course, instantly you understand why this is such a big threat. I mean, obviously, right? But mainly, this dossier is talking about the Razorbacks. Now, the Razorbacks operate out of Pittsburgh, and you don't know this, but from what Mr. Tillman had just said, you know that the whole organization is on top of this worldwide right now. Because this is a major, major emergency situation. Now, you guys have been sent here to infiltrate, investigate, and possibly shut down the Razorbacks because they are working for the Blue Lotus clan, and they are not trying, they are kidnapping in particular, young, God touched or mutants. And they want you guys to get in there and try to shut that down. The dossier is a little bit, a little bit scary. You guys are brand new, but you are full. And I understand this is not a level D&D hero. This is not what we're dealing with. These guys are full on superhero level, right? So this is another different thing about this game. But you're looking at the layout of the Razorbacks. They are tough, right? There's no joke here. These guys are you got to take them seriously. Each member is a full cyborg, right? And therefore, even the lowliest member can be a threat to you. So you have to be really careful about how you guys go about this. The only other information you have about the Razorbacks is that they are located in the pit in Pittsburgh, which I will explain that in a second. And they are led by a character by the name of Black Hawk. There's not a lot of information. There's a blurry image of Black Hawk in here, which I will show you right now. And this is not blurry. I wish it were more blurry, but this is what Black Hawk looks like. And the image you have is not as clear and clean as this. But he is their leader, and he is a major threat. Matter of fact, he's a bit rough for you guys to handle, but it's just within your abilities probably. So be
Question:
careful.
Is there
Yeah.
any contact, any person that will need to be talked to while we're investigating? Any point of contact we should be
Unfortunately,
aware
we
of?
don't have any contacts in New Pittsburgh at all. We do have permission to enter their flight space because New Pittsburgh is a city state really, and it's much bigger than Pittsburgh is today. But it's called New Pittsburgh. It's a city state that is actually recently been applying for a right to become a member of the UKA. So they are being very helpful and cooperative. So they have given us right to enter their flights, their space, and to also to operate unhindered. Because you guys will have some kind of uniform. Now, I haven't made a decision on that because I thought it'd be more fun for you guys to decide what your uniforms look like. But you also have a badge. Keep in mind, you're kind of like UN police, is what you are. You're like Interpol, in a way, right? So you do have a badge. New Pittsburgh is allowing you to operate unfettered. So that's a very good thing. But other than that, there's no contact because this city state is not officially yet part of the UK. And to be honest, for a long time, they have been considered nothing more than a den of black market thieves and scumbags. It's not a safe place, but it is what it is. Any other questions?
What exactly is our method of insertion?
Well, if the other guys who showed up, we would have had a teleporter with us, but we don't, unfortunately. But basically, you'll have access to a transport craft.
Okay, right.
What is the weather forecast?
Well, okay. Now that information would be here in the dossier as well. They to give a description of what Pittsburgh looks like. Now, after the God's Blood took place, of course, there was a lot of worry and stuff, but the aliens were there and helped, and the death toll was huge, but they were able to staunch a lot of it, and it was actually a wonderful time for like the first couple of decades while they were here and helping us, and a lot of tech flowed and came out, and a lot of things were done. And what happened at Pittsburgh was they came to understand that underneath the city, the iron deposits were much higher than they had anticipated from before, and unfortunately, they went into a process of literal strip mining, and they dug down real deep. I mean, we're talking over a half mile deep. They dug into the ground, and they depleted that. And of course, this was such a destructive way to go about it that they started doing more drilling type of methods, and different kind of technologies came into play around it. But that big pit, that big strip mine pit, over time has become actually kind of the main part of the city. Now, the elite and the rich don't live anywhere near there. Of course, they live in sky rises and stuff like that. But the main populace live inside this pit. So the layering of the wall as we come down the pit, it's just full of these circular streets and shops and stuff like that. So the whole sides of the pit are just the city itself. Okay, but the industry that's going on in that town, of course, in these days where there's not a lot of ecological law or stuff like that, it's just billowing this black smoke out of thousands of factory chimneys, right? And therefore, there's this constant brown pallor smog that is hanging over the place. It's like a constant twilight city.
Okay, the Razorbacks, do they are they like a criminal organization? Do they remain in the shadows, or can we easily see them out on the streets?
Certain areas, especially the deeper in the pit you go, they control, and it's understood at the bottom layers, it's completely under the control. They are the major gang in this city. There are some other competitors against them, but they are the second place is far below them. So they pretty much have an iron grip on it, and it's
Like a mafia?
suspected. Yeah, they're very much like a mafia. I kind of think of them as a kind of like the Latin kings in a way. And
Yeah, okay.
it's assumed in the dossier, it says it's assumed that the city officials have some kind of relationship with them as well.
Okay. And what is so Denali's characters changed rapidly, drastically.
Yes. Oh, okay. I should address that. Now, last week in our zero session, we created characters, right? And everyone had a pretty standard character. Some people that are more kind of sidekickish in a way as far as levels compared to some of the other ones. But Denali's character came out as a god. I mean, this guy could take down Thor probably in 3 rounds. So I was trying to think because I hadn't created this world or idea yet. So I was thinking about, okay, what can I do that make Denali make it work? And I just couldn't come up with an idea to make it fun. So I just basically went to Denali and says, please let me change your character, and he said, okay. So that's why
Right.
this is a totally different character than he had created last week. What was the name of that character you
Right,
made last week?
We never gave it a name. We just left it as Random Rock.
Oh,
It's
that's
kept
right. Yeah,
that
okay.
name.
But yeah, no, we made a completely new character with him. So now he's more he's taken up that heavy the heavy tank
So he
position.
doesn't have any of those other powers.
No.
He's just
It's
super
completely
strong and
super
super
strong
durable.
and super durable.
Like
That's it.
the Thing. He's more like the Thing now.
In a way, think of him. He's more like the little girl in the Runaways, but he's a
It
boy.
doesn't help me.
You never
Okay.
read the Runaways? Anyway, he's just
No.
he's a super strong, tough kid. Yeah, that's it. Doesn't have any flight powers, nothing like that. He's just tough, seriously
Okay.
tough. He's Luke Cage, is what he is. Same level, same power levels
He's Luke
as Luke
Cage.
Cage.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the populace of the area that we're going in? Is it hostile?
The further down the pit you go, it can be. Of course, this is a living, breathing city, so it's not like everybody's under this ultra oppression, or otherwise there would be a dead city. I mean, these mafioso types, Hollywood tends to make them look like they're super crazy, oppressive, murder everything left and right. But of course, you can't succeed. You can't succeed with that kind of thinking. So the society lives day to day with the presence of the Razorbacks. Now, of course, they will occasionally go and rough someone up or what have you to, if they feel they need so, but need to. But they're operating very much like a Latin Kings or a mafia group. They're not some stupid little street gang that's doing drive-bys. They're not like that. They're quite well organized.
Okay. So, and what they're doing is they're getting a hold of mutant children,
That's the problem.
and you said they're controlling them, or they're controlling their powers.
No, the Blue Lotus has found some way to control the gods touched, the god touched. Now that's not your mission. But the whole order is currently involved in trying to deal with the Blue Lotus right now because that's a major threat. If you can control the mutants, well, then you can have armies, right? This is a major threat. And so the whole order is focused on this right now. You have been given a little teeny piece of this ongoing mission, and that is to go and deal with these Razorbacks because the Blue Lotus is not known to be present in New Pittsburgh. But they have made contact. They know that they've made contact because there's been observations, and they have some photos in the dossier of that of a Blue Lotus agent actually going into a known Razorback headquarter type of building. And They know that they're working with them, and all of a sudden the Razorbacks started kidnapping mutant kids. Well, obviously, and that's what they need you to deal with the Razorbacks. You guys aren't really on the Blue Lotus situation. You're kind of a layer below it. You're dealing with the Razorbacks, and they want to. Who knows what they want in the end? Maybe they want to interrogate. I mean, you could ask that question, I suppose.
Gotcha.
So the
Go
Razorback,
defeat Razorback. Find any information on Blue Locust, and come back. Report. Gotcha.
because they're kidnapping kids.
They are.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's
Okay,
interesting.
gotcha.
They're not really going after the older people. They're going after generations, meaning legacies, right? Because it's been 60 years. Many actually of the God touch still are alive. Because one of the very common things of the God touch to a person, especially the first generation, was increased strength, dexterity, intelligence, etc., but also longevity. So many of the initial people who were affected in that passing of the consciousness of the God are still around, right? But it doesn't seem like they're going after them. They seems they're going after legacy kids or breed. They seem to be they're going after as far as the mechanical aspect of the game, they're going after breed.
Right.
In the background, my character is already becoming angsty. He's getting tired of all this talking on the dossier.
Well, there's a conversation between this guy you see on the screen and you guys. I'm him,
Yep.
I guess.
Yep. He's already my
Aren't I
character
handsome?
just getting tired of it. He's like, all right, you told us to eject this, let's go.
Mhm.
That's how my character
All right,
is.
kid. Go grab your equipment. Report to the ship.
By the
I
way,
am
in
my
the dossier,
equipment.
they in Hangar 2, you've been given ship number 9,
All right.
Transport
Up
9.
to Transport 9. Shouldn't we be Transport 10 since we're Jupiter 10?
Well, that's just the name of your team. that is shuttle. If you want it to be shuttle transport 10, fine. There you go. It's transport 10. Done.
Cool.
Says here
Right.
we have a reserve. We have reserve members on standby in other transports. Is that right?
Absolutely. Of
Okay,
course.
I'm just gonna set that up now for the next game.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah. So there you go. We're gonna basically. I need to make planetfall, and to get within range to start doing some snooping,
Sure.
and then we'll find out where we need to focus on finding the either the hierarchy or some place where there maybe have some kids, hold up.
Sure. Now, I've given you the information that you have access to. As far as they know. Unfortunately, they don't have a ton of information on the Razorbacks because they've never been very important. Because New Pittsburgh is not really a big focus of the order, right? It's kind of a small little city that makes its money off of basic tech, and it's kind of a dirty, grimy place. It's not really important, and but unfortunately, you do need to go in there. So.
Right. Yeah. And our communications equipment, does it work from planet to planet?
We're not their tech that you would have is simply Earth only. You don't have access to stuff. But to be honest with you, the colonies and things that are going on in the solar system, it's really just a new thing. Although it is burgeoning, it is a really new thing. So more than likely, none of you guys have been out of the atmosphere yourselves.
Okay.
Mm.
So basically standard hours. It'll take hours for messages to go back and forth. Okay.
No, no, no. You're in the atmosphere, right? So it's light
Yeah.
speed, so
Yeah.
you can communicate just as we do now, just like we're doing right now over the
Okay.
internet. Yeah. We're on Earth.
Right. Right.
Jupiter
Right.
Erie is in the atmosphere of Earth.
Oh, I did not know that.
What, well, one key question
Because we have.
is these bad guys that we're going after, they are interested in breeds,
Yes,
to
that's what they're
kidnap
going
breeds.
after. That's right. Yeah. In the game, they would probably more be called legacies or something like that. But yeah, mechanically, they're called breeds. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So it sounds like the kid is going to go. So, well, first of all, I need a pilot. So someone raise their hand.
You
Mongoose.
already know. Shit, I was gonna say, can't raise his hand fast.
Who rose their hand? Who wants to be the pilot?
I think it's probably Mongoose.
George.
All right, fine. I'll be the pilot.
Okay.
Darn it.
All right. You don't have to be, but we need a pilot. So George, do me a favor on your character sheet. I need you to write down in under your talents or skill area. I need you to write down pilot.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys.
Got it.
I've laid it all out for you. We have an idea where we are. It's your boat now.
All right. Is there any other enforcement powers? So, or government authorities? Oh, that's right. They're being controlled by the mafia as well.
Yeah. You
So if
guys
we
do.
get
You guys are licensed and you have a badge. Remember,
yeah,
you're wearing some kind of uniform, right? Now, if you guys do have the freedom, if you want to go plain clothes for infiltration and stuff, you are allowed to do that. But you do have a uniform. Like I said, I haven't designed it because I thought it'd be cool if you guys decided what it looked like. But you do have a badge, which of course would be displayed so everyone could see it. And because New Pittsburgh wants to become part of the UKA, they are allowing you, free reign to do your job. So the government itself is not going to stand in your way. But from the dossier, more than likely, they're not going to be much help either, though.
yeah. So we're not gonna contact the authorities then. I think going in plain clothes would be the best idea to get down to the street.
All right. Now, keep in mind that going plain clothes has its advantages. Going in uniform, badged uniform has its advantages too, right? So just keep that in mind.
Right. Okay.
Beowulf, we are playing. We're using the Marvel superheroes role playing system, but we're creating a world that I've created myself, which I call God's Blood. All right, go ahead. Tell me what you're doing, guys.
Well then,
Okay. As a pilot, I'm waiting for everyone to board the ship.
Okay, so you go down and get your ship prepped. This is a pretty standard transport. It's not a military grade craft per se, but it does have shielding and it does have a pair of pulse guns on the sides. It's a very minimal military vehicle, but it's mainly used for transporting between point A and point B.
Okay. I did a once walk around the ship to make sure it's all ready to go. I'm chewing some gum. I see a little hole near the engine. I take my chewing gum and plug that hole and walk right into the ship, getting myself ready and comfortable on the pilot seat.
Awesome. So you get your checklist done and everything is ready. You get everything fired up and ready to go. He's waiting. What are you doing there, Ragnarok?
Well, basically, since we're going plain skull, I go plain clothing, and then I'm waiting in the transport. Waiting for this to move. Go ahead and move because he's tired of waiting. He wants to action.
Okay, my only question really is, do you have a bag of potato chips or a bag of candy bars?
Not too excitable, so we'll go with potato chips this time.
Potato chips this time. Okay. Okay. It's a potato chip type of mission. I get it. All
Yes.
right, DeWolf, did you want to do it? DeWolf, what's your character's name again?
Envoy.
Envoy. Does Envoy want to do anything before heading down?
Nope. Just to give the pilot. I'm basically taking a leadership role at this point. So
That's fine.
take us down. Take us to the standard public spaceport airport there, and use the government reserved landing area.
Yeah, sure. You can certainly access that. And just to answer your question, Bullet, how many RPGs is Chester running? I'm running 2 right now, but I've run all. I mean, you name it, I've run it at some time or another over the past 40 years. So, anyway, you guys head out and you flying along. And you guys are pretty high in the atmosphere. These cities are shielded and stuff like that, and there are many of them now. Jupiter is actually one of the older ones. That were the Jupiter Erie was part of the initial 9 that was built, and that's why they decided to call them after the planets. But now there are hundreds of them around the world, created by private citizens, private enterprises, nations, what have you. The flying ship has become quite standard because a lot of these thousands of kingdoms or city states, wherever they are really lacking in ecological rules. So the atmosphere of the planet over many sections of the planet are very smog laden. So these cities have become more popular because it's beautiful and clean air up here. But you guys are heading down now. The Jupiter Erie currently is floating over the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Now, with all these cities, because there's so many, there's literally a traffic pattern for these cities. And they have to be at a certain height. So you guys are moving in a westerly direction, but you are currently sitting in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And you guys head out and you start flying, and it takes the ships are much faster than what we have today, but it still takes you a good hour and a half to be approaching the city. And as you approach, of course, they call up over the standard travel comms. And George, they're saying, please acknowledge Jupiter craft. Please acknowledge.
All right. I am pressing a couple of buttons, making sure that the radio is good. I'm blowing into it to clear the airwaves, and I am Jupiter, come in. Jupiter, come in.
No, you are Jupiter.
I am?
Pittsburgh
I thought we're going
Station.
Oh, right. Pittsburgh, sorry.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, come in.
Yes. Please give us your itinerary and your class numbers, please.
Class number is 101138, and we're heading to New Pittsburgh, international mission. 4 on board.
Those aren't the droids you're looking for.
Those aren't the droids you're looking for. And George, why are there 4 on board? Just curious.
Because I am lying to them. because if we have carte blanche to do anything we want there, the last thing we want them to know is the exact numbers of
Okay.
our crew
Cool.
complement,
No,
because
I
the
just
whole
wanted
place
the
is
logic
corrupt.
behind it. Sounds good. Sounds good.
The
Okay,
whole
they
place is
say.
a corrupt system.
Okay. They say you are cleared for landing pad 10, landing pad 10. And you go through the various other rigmarole with them and you guiding the ship in. Now, as you guys are now coming into view where Pittsburgh can be seen, you see that it's nice and bright and shiny day where you are, but the down below is literally this almost solid disk of brown smog is hanging over the entire city. As you fall through the smog and come into the city itself, it's quite dark down here. There are literally like giant city installations that are obviously some manner of factories and such, and there's just stacks of chimney stacks all over the place, hundreds of them, and they're just billowing this black smoke into the sky. As you guys approach, you see the pit in front of you. It's absolutely enormous. It takes up the majority of the city of Pittsburgh today is now where the pit is. And you see that it's much bigger than you could have imagined, and you don't know how deep that thing, but it is, but it's well over a half mile deep. It's quite an impressive bit of ecological destruction. But you're guiding yourself into the landing pad, which is actually sitting on the rim of the pit. Off to the eastern side of it, and but as you're moving through this part of the city, of course, you're starting to see all of the city tech and stuff, and it is quite advanced. So as polluted and horrible as this place looks, it's actually a very advanced city.
Oh, it's Blade Runner.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. You guys land, and without any kind of problems, you have a ground crew comes up, and they're looking at they come up and they say, "Do you need refueling?" Now, you guys know that this ship is based upon a new tech, and it doesn't need fuel at all.
I lie
Oh.
to them and I say yes, but not right now.
Very well, very well. And they basically just leave you alone. You know, especially you being a pilot, that normally there'd be more process involved, but that's about it. They just kind of let you be. So you guys can walk yourself out into the city and do what you want.
All right, let's go plain clothes, but take your badges.
Okay.
All right, Chief. So, what do we want to do now that we're here on New Pittsburgh?
Well, since they like they like breeds and they want to kidnap breeds, I will take point. You guys follow behind me. Be ready to back me up. If there's a hint of danger, I will zip right away from it, and we will pounce them.
Okay, that's one way to go.
Mm,
But you guys really have no clue where or what you're doing, so you need to kind of do some
right.
intel gathering first. And of course, this is where DeWolf comes into play. Really, this is the strength of his character.
Rightio. Yeah. Just give me a second. Let me take a little break here in the ship, I guess, and get comfortable. Maybe a little trance state, and let me go perusing. Now we do have intel, so we should
A little
have
bit. Yeah.
some idea. I would think some intel, some idea of where I need to start.
Okay.
But
The
take a look around.
below the 10th ring of the pit, because understand the majority of the city is in the ring, and the Razorbacks are in the ring. The rest of the city around is not really your concern. But
So
below the
one
10th,
starts at ground level, and as you go down, the numbers go higher.
yeah, just imagine it's a big pit, and there on the sides of the pit, the walls of the pit, there's a city built, and as we go down, there's like
Yeah.
street levels, right?
Okay.
Below the 10th ring, you have nothing. Above that, there are two locations that are in your dossier. One is considered some manner of headquarters, and the other one, and that's actually toward that's only on the second ring. It's toward the top,
Oh
actually,
yeah.
and the other one is on the 10th ring, and it's literally on the other side of the pit, and it's considered like a lounge club clubhouse type of thing. It's more of a leisurely place, but it is a known Razorback hangout.
Okay. Well, first off, let me ask these guys then. We want to go straight to the headquarters or possibly hit the hangout area first. Oh, that's going to be that's deeper down though. The deeper down we go, the worse it gets.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let me go ahead and zoom in on the headquarters.
All right.
And I'm gonna look around, say the perimeter areas, and just look to see what kind of guard activity is there.
Okay. Now, this ability here that he's using is called clairvoyance. It's part of his mental set that he has. DeWolf's character is mainly a mentalist, meaning he has mainly mental abilities. And clairvoyance allows him to see great distances. He can't hear things, but he can see. But he has abilities that actually tie in quite nicely with his clairvoyance. Now, you're looking around. Now, in this case, because you're not opposing an individual per se, there's no need to make any kind of roll at all. It just functions. All right. So you are looking around the
Yeah.
perimeter of this building. You see it's a bustling activity going on here. Like I said, this city is kind of set either in darkness or twilight. It doesn't actually have sunlight, but it is daytime. But there's a whole bunch of activity moving around the streets. People are going about their business, shopping, moving along. It's actually it's not a bad looking place other than the air pollution. Although you do notice a lot of people are wearing various manners of face masks to protect from that. Now, what you do see here is kind of standard as you would expect in any place. A good 50% or more of the population is God touched. This is kind of where the world has come to today with all the interbreeding and stuff like that. And of course, a long time ago, they figured out how to actually make God touched, although it's extremely, extremely expensive. But there are many God touched walking around, and you can tell they're God touched because most, not all, but most God touched do have some kind of visible mutation. But there are many of them moving around. You'll also see a lot of cybernetics, actually. Now, cybernetics, of course, is a popular thing, although there have been recent movements in other places around the globe to make either outlaw it or license it or control it in some manner. But there are a lot of cybernetics here, and you also see that milling around that supposed headquarters building, you see a lot of cyborgs, and some of them are extremely well armed. I mean, in the open, they're not even hiding it. They're walking around with heavy machine guns and stuff, or excuse me, heavy pulse rifles and stuff.
All right. Well, interestingly enough, I'm going to go ahead and activate a bit of telepathy.
Mhm.
And being that I can do images as well as words, I'm just going to go ahead and tap into my two teammates here,
Mhm.
and as I'm looking, basically transmit the information and the
Yeah.
sites that I'm able to see directly to them.
You can now. Here's our first opportunity to explain Power Stunt. All right. Now, normally he can communicate in an audible way with his telepathy, but taking and giving in a visual addition to his thing is a very cool idea. So I'm certainly going to allow it. I think it's good. So what he's going to do is he's going to try to power stunt himself into this so we can demonstrate it. All right. So let me get back over to that chart. Now, what you're going to do, we're going to get our first roll in the game. Okay. Now, you need to spend, how much karma do you have?
I have 36
You have 36. Okay, it's not enough. Why is your karma so low when you're a mentalist?
because I've got a psych of 20 and then only a 10 and a 6.
Oh, I see, I see, I see. Okay. Um, I really want to demonstrate, so I'm going to let you. Normally, you have to spend 100 karma to initiate this, but I'm just going to let it happen because I want to demonstrate it. And we'll just say he's been working on doing this for a little while. Okay. So go ahead now. Your clairvoyance. What is the power rank on that?
Oh, excellent.
It's excellent, so it's equal. Okay. And what kind of skills does your character have?
Skills.
Yes, your talents, skills.
talents. I went ahead and changed it to trance when you were describing what was going on.
Okay.
So he can put himself into a meditative trance,
Awesome.
slowing the body functions and everything else.
Perfect. So what this does is gives you a +1 on this roll. So what I need you to do is you're going to roll under the remarkable rank, and you need to get a yellow. Okay, so that means you need to roll a 66 or higher. Would you like to use karma to try to make sure you get that?
No,
Are you sure?
I'm good.
All right. So go ahead and make your roll and give me the number.
Because if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna have to go through the process of chatting with them.
This is true. Yeah.
But I got a
I just want to
78.
demonstrate it. What'd you get?
A 78.
78. All right. So what I need you to do is next to your telepathy, I need you to write down visual connection.
Okay.
All right, or visual component, whatever you want to call it, and write down in parentheses 1 success. And of course, this is under a heading of power stunt. This is a power stunt. Okay, but you
Right.
have 1
Okay.
success. You need 4 more successes, and that will become a permanent power of yours. Okay, this is how it works. I just want to demonstrate it, and so you guys can see. So we've already started building power stunts. All right. So yep, go ahead and you can everything that he is seeing, he's relaying to you guys in your mind. You can hear him and you can see what he's showing you. Okay. Now I just gave you the description. Would you like to move inside with your clairvoyance?
Move inside. Oh yeah. Let's go ahead and move inside the building then.
Okay. As you come up, you start seeing some distortion. There is a psi field around this building. Now, that doesn't mean you can't do it, but you can certainly try. So this is once again, this is you're in your trance. You do get that +1. It's under the remarkable category again, but unfortunately you do need a yellow to get through that because it's equal. Now, when I give you ranks, and like for instance, if I said it was a green, that would mean the psi field would be below remarkable. Matter of fact, actually, let me adjust that. It is below yours. It wouldn't be remarkable. It would probably be like excellent, a tech-based one. All right, so his because he's using his trance skill, he's actually stronger now. So he's a remarkable column. Therefore, the psi shield that is surrounding this building is only excellent power rank. Therefore, he only needs a green to succeed. So go ahead and make your roll.
36.
Great, 36. So we come over here and we see remarkable is what we're rolling under. We come over to 36 and we see, whoo, he just literally just made it. It's a green, but he does. You're able to push through that psi
Wow.
field and now you're inside. As a matter of fact, you're able to push through that psi field without actually breaking it or anything or causing any kind of alarm, by the way.
Right. Okay.
All right, so now you're
All
inside.
right.
You're moving along corridors, and remember, keep in mind, guys, everyone is seeing this. And what you see in here is what seems kind of like, oddly, it's kind of like an embassy in a way. There's a lot of actual work going on here. There's not the kind of imagined lounge with a bunch of alcohol or any of that kind of stuff. There's many cyborgs moving around in here, but it's a very efficient office, actually.
Okay.
Okay.
Well then, what I really need to find basically is some place with some where I've got some people that are imprisoned. That's usually I either got to go
Sure.
up or I got to go down. So
Okay. Well,
so let's
you
try
go
out
through
like
this
some
whole
base.
place. I'm sorry, go ahead. What?
Yeah, let's go down some basement levels.
Okay. You move through this whole place, no problem. You get to every little nook and cranny you would like, and there are no prisoners here. There's nothing odd actually. It really just looks like an office, but it seems to have a lot of kind of almost embassy aspects to it, which doesn't make sense to you because there's people that are creating like passports and various things like that. It's almost as if it were a functioning embassy, which doesn't make sense because the Razorbacks aren't a nation, right?
Right, they're trying to duplicate a nation.
Maybe.
Get nationhood status. Wow. Well, I hate to do this, but the only other direction to go is then to check up on the other location.
Well, keep in mind, your clairvoyance is inside there, and your telepathy
Yeah.
can be used through it. So you could try to invade a mind. Do you have you don't have mental probe though, right?
No, I don't.
Oh, you
So
don't.
it's
Okay.
usually just mainly for talking back and forth. I can't read
Okay.
minds.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
then you'll have to go check out the other one.
Actually, though, before I do this, I'm going to find one. I'm going to find one young lady who is working on some paperwork.
Mhm.
Okay,
Easy enough.
and I'm going to then use telepathy, and I'm just going to simply say to her, uh,
Yeah.
"What are you doing?"
Well, she freaks out and kind of looks around because she's in an office alone, and she doesn't understand what's going on. She looks around, and she's like, "Whew," and she goes back to her work.
Okay, I
It
expected as
just
much.
screwed you, huh?
Not really. Not really. Not really. Okay, I'm going to try again.
Okay, now she
Why
stands
are you?
up. She's a little panicked. She doesn't understand where the voice is coming from. Because understand, unless they know they're talking to a telepath, they don't understand that the voice is only in their head, right?
Right. Okay, now I'm going to wait. I'm going to watch her and wait for a moment and listen to her thoughts.
Um, now, all you can do, because you don't have mental probe, all you can hear is her very surface things. In essence, talking to herself, type of
Yes,
stuff. Um,
exactly what I want to
yeah,
do. Yes.
and she's talking to herself. Who says, "What's going on? Is that new implant going awry? I better check it. I better check it." She takes the paperwork she was working on. She locks it in the desk, and she leaves the room and locks the room. And she's heading downstairs. Did you want to interact or let her go about her way?
Oh, wait, she said she's going to do something with a cybernetic implant, right?
That's what she said. Yeah.
I've got to watch.
All right. She heads down stairs, and she goes over and she goes into this room that you've already been through. And in this room, there are a lot of computers, and there is a lot of tech in this room. And she goes talk to this guy. And she says, Joe, that new implant I got, I think it's a problem. I'm hearing voices. He's like, calm down, Elizabeth. Don't worry about it. Just come over here, sit down. I'll check it. She sits down in a chair, and he takes this kind of head harness and puts on her. Now, understand that she doesn't have a lot of cybernetics visible on her, other than her hands obviously are cybernetic. Other than that is not a lot visible. But he puts this on. You see a schematic comes up on the screen. He's checking it, and he's looking at this. And she has several implants in her head, actually. And he focuses in on one that's set at the base of her the skull in the back. And he goes through, and you see schematics come up, and he's working away on a keyboard, and he's checking it all out. And he after he's done, he says, "Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with it. It's working perfectly. What's going on?" She says, "I don't know. I keep hearing voices. I, I'm really, really worried." He says, "Don't worry about it. I told you, becoming part of the cybernetic nation is the way to go. We are the future, don't you know?"
Okay, I'm going to speak one more time,
What do you say?
and I'm going to tell her, do the right thing for the right reason.
Okay, she starts really freaking out now. Say, "I heard it again. I heard it again." He says, "I got the diagnostics on right in front of you. Nothing is coming through. There's nothing wrong with this. Are you losing your mind? You need to go get some rest. Go home." She says, "No, but I have a go home." He said, "Okay," sheepishly she says, and she begins to leave the building.
Ooh, I'm going to follow her. I'm a stalker now.
Okay. She goes home
We're
and
going to find us a point of contact.
well, you could go that route if you'd like. She goes home and she just immediately starts to make herself more comfortable. She makes herself a cup of tea, and she's
I'll leave
just
her
trying
alone.
to calm her nerves
So,
because she's really panicked.
so just to jump in, am my character able to talk telepathically to Envoy right now?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes, you are linked, all of you.
So I would have been saying, instead of following her, maybe we should find out more about that cybernetic nation they were talking about. Maybe that has something to do with what we're looking into.
Yeah. Okay, I broke contact with her, but I know where she lives.
Yeah, she lives not far away. She's like 4 or 5 blocks away from that building.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead, and we got two options now. I'm gonna go ahead and break out and become normally lucid. We have two choices at this point. I believe. I guess three. One is contact this young lady and see, since she's a normal young woman, contact her, use our authority to tell her what we need to do to see if we can get in, and use her as a way to sort of break in, right? Or we can just walk straight into place, or we can also go back down to the hangout lounge area and scout that place out.
Sure. Now, keep in mind, just as an additional piece of detail for you, many of the people who work and interacting with the Razorbacks, they themselves are seemingly all cybernetic in some point of or another. But understand, the only heavy hitter is someone who's actually been made part of the Razorbacks. So there's a whole nother layer below them. Where these guys you were looking at, for instance, you wouldn't have seen any Razorback in that building at all. A Razorback is in a way a made man, right? And they are serious business. But all
Yeah, these are
the
hired
grunts,
hinklings. Yeah.
that's right, hirelings and stuff like that are of course more
Mm.
normal type of henchman type thing.
Well, what my character would want to do is get some of that information about the cybernetic nation,
Okay.
just to see, just as a talking point, and then try to investigate about the Razorbacks and where they usually hang out and everything like that.
All right. So tell me, Ragnarok, what skills do you
Mhm.
have? What talents do you have?
I have trivia knowledge.
Okay, you do. Which, of course, in this day and age would mean you have you're really good at using the internet because that's where you gain
Yes.
your trivia. So maybe you should go on the internet and do searches for such things.
All right, then I will touch my touchpad and do internet search
Okay, so you
for.
start going through the internet and searching for cybernetic nation or cyber nation, and you find it quite easily. Actually, a lot of it is in this local area, but you actually find mentions of it worldwide. And the cybernetic nation is a movement of cyborgs to unionize. Themselves. It's really presented as a kind of a union because they're not getting enough respect, and we're superior to humans anyway, yada yada yada. So it's a bit of mission statements. You see many of them, but it seems to be this movement is going on across the world with cyborgs to unify and unionize.
And one of the things I want to track is to see if this movement comes from New Pittsburgh, if it came out of the city, or where it came from,
So you're
where
doing
it
those kind of
started.
searches. Now that
Yeah.
is an actual role. All right. So
Mhm.
what we want to do is look at your intelligence, which is what?
Mhm. 6.
Okay. And then you have trivia, so puts us on good. So you're not really built for this, but still you're better
Mm.
than average. So go ahead and make a roll.
I have 43.
43. Just missed it. Now, excuse me. In this case, if
Mm.
you had used karma to try to make that roll, you would have just lost 3 karma. And you would have had a success, right? So keep in mind, guys,
Mhm.
if you want to try to help pad your rolls, you can use karma. How many karma is your character sitting on right now?
22.
Okay, so it's not a lot, but you can use karma to make rolls, dude.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, you can't figure out exactly where the origin is. Yeah.
This is too boring. I'm not meant for this.
No, you are meant to punch things, dude.
Yes. You're stopping me from punching. I want to punch.
Okay. All right. So anybody else got something they want to do?
I have something to suggest to the team.
Mm-hmm.
How about I use my contacts and my spy contact in the military intelligence, and ask him if he can provide us a detailed location of our quarry.
Oh, you can certainly try.
Oh,
You
Black
would,
Hawk.
however, you would know, George, that the order would have information probably superior to your contact in this particular situation. Not saying your contact doesn't have value, because it certainly does, but in this particular situation, that dossier you have is as researched as the order can give to you.
Okay.
Just not so you don't waste your time.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you have one other location you could check, or you could just start hitting the streets and start doing the
Okay.
detective work.
Okay, Ragnarok. You want to know about the Cybernation? We can go and interrogate the young lady and ask her directly what the Cybernation is.
You could.
You want to do that?
Okay.
Denali?
Ragnarok, are you here? He's muted.
He's muted himself. Oh, okay.
Sorry, what was that?
We could go directly to Elizabeth, the young lady's house, and interrogate her, asking her what she knows about the Cybernation.
So we're gonna go to this seemingly worker who you just freaked her out, thinking that she has mental issue, and now we're gonna ask her questions about this movement to unitize.
Right.
I don't know how that's gonna be. This seems like she's.
I've already implanted some mental suggestion into her, and then we're just going to utilize it through normal conversation.
Alrighty, you're the chief.
Okay. Well, you want to know about this, so this is a way for us to get more information on what Cybernation is. All right. So, well, in this particular case, we may want to walk in uniform then, because we want the shock value of the authorities walking in on her.
Good point.
So, all right, dress up, folks, and we will be on our way. I don't know if we need transport. I know Speedy here can get there fast enough, and I can actually fly my young friend if we want to go in the flight route.
Yep, it's up to you. You guys could go on foot, or you could use the transport system. Of course, this is a modern city, so they're gonna have hover buses, and they're gonna have monorails and all that kind of stuff.
Is the sky clear?
I suggest we go in disguise, because we don't want to tip our hands just yet.
So let's just use the transportation to get where we need to go. Flying is what? Well, I mean, you think if
we'll just drop in, nobody will know.
Somehow my inner person says, I don't know, Tim.
I can fly in at 100 miles an hour. We're good.
All right,
Make a
Chief.
decision, guys. What are you doing?
Guess we're flying in.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going
What do you say,
by
George?
foot, and are you uniformed or not?
Well, if we're going to fly in 100 miles an hour, we guess we should be uniformed.
All right.
Wouldn't the uniform, handle the friction?
Yeah, of course, but that's not really the issue. Your inner powers protect versus those things anyway. Now you guys fly in, and of course George's character. What's your character's name again, George?
Ricky.
Ricky moves in at high speed, running through the streets and getting over there. Now, as you fly, Envoy, you actually don't have to hold him. You can extend your telekinetic field around him. If someone's really close to you, so you guys are just next to each other.
He can use telekinesis. Yeah.
And of course you are guiding Ricky to the place, because you have a telepathic link to show exactly where it is. So you guys arrive outside the building, and you're in full uniform.
Right. All right. We'll give her a beep, I guess, instead of a knock.
Okay, you go up to the intercom and you know exactly she's on the 5th floor and the apartment number, and you press that, and eventually you hear a voice, hello.
Yes, this is Agent Envoy with the order, and I would give her more specifics depending upon what I would normally say in this particular instance. And we have some questions for you about some local activity in the area.
Okay, did you just
May
identify
we speak with
yourself
you?
as being an agent?
Yeah, I'm wearing the uniform.
Okay. She says, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm really busy right now. And by the way, Beowulf, I did explain everything. We're in a future setting after an event had caused many of the people on Earth to gain mutant abilities, just kind of truncate it, and everything is we are in a very futuristic world. Think cyberpunk, think Blade Runner, think Fifth Element type of thing. So what are you guys gonna do?
Does she have a balcony? Does she have a
No, she
balcony?
doesn't. This is a solid windowed building. Yeah.
So I'm just chuckling in the background.
All right, I know what
How many people are
window.
watching?
I know
How
what
many people are
window
watching?
that she
That's
looks
okay, dude.
out.
It
That
doesn't
looks
matter.
out to the street, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab the boy, and we're gonna float up to the 5th floor window.
Okay. You do so, and you see her kind of pacing back and forth across the room, and she's very worried
Knock, knock, punk, punk, punk.
on the window. She sees you, she freaks out, she bolts to the door.
Okay. Ricky's down below me. I'm
He is.
gonna just use some quick telepathy and say, Ricky, she may be coming out.
And and she does. She comes running out the door right toward you, Ricky.
Okay, so I stop her with my super speed, spin her around a little so she becomes dizzy and disoriented, and then I quickly sit her down so she can be interrogated.
Okay. Now you're not actually touching her. You're just running quickly around her to try to disorient her, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you do that quite effectively. She's terrified, dude. She's just a civilian. She's terrified. She doesn't know what's going on. She falls falls down on her butt, and she's saying, "What are you doing to me? Why? What was going on?" She starts crying.
Okay. Can I slap her around sometimes?
You can.
So we're gonna float back down.
Okay, as you guys are coming down,
That's
Ricky
beyond-
is slapping her across the face very quickly because he's super speedy.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
I'm advising her right now to hush up.
Okay, she is holding it in her sobs the best she can. Her cheeks are red and her nose is bloody.
Wow.
Elizabeth, is that your name?
Yes.
We would like to speak with you. We would like to go back up to your apartment, and you're going to be fine. Did you hear anything oddly today? Did someone speak to you?
Don't hurt me.
No, we're not going to hurt you.
He just hit me in the face.
Okay, Ricky,
What was
apologize.
that? What was that? What the hell?
All right, now
Okay,
you guys
I
are
wanna get
standing in
her
the
up.
middle of the street in uniform.
I want
You
to
just
get.
had a UN official, badged UN official, literally strike in the face several times a citizen. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Well, I want to get her up to the door, and we want to go in, and we want to go back upstairs.
Now you can just
Oh,
take
boy.
the passcode she had in her hand away from her and get her up there quite easily. So she's
That's what we're doing.
she's out of it, dude. She's terrified. She thinks she's about to be murdered. She's just she doesn't know what to do.
Well, first off, these people have a severe reaction to our authority. This is a problem.
Well, there are people in the street. You notice
Mm,
actually as you're doing that, people in the street are certainly looking. There's a couple of people that are talking to themselves, but nobody interferes with you. Nobody.
All right,
All right, you're sitting in her
we're
apartment right
supposed.
now. Now, her apartment is a pretty standard thing. She's not rich,
oh,
but this city isn't necessarily poor. But she has a very simple little studio apartment. It's not much, but she does have a few chairs, a couch, and a bed, and a little kitchenette, plus a bathroom off to the side. So you set her down in one of the chairs, and she's just being as quiet as she possibly can, but she's having a hard time not making some manner of sobbing sound.
all right. Can I take charge here? Because it seems like Mister Magical Mind here and Mrs. I'm gonna slap silly is making situation worse.
Yeah, let the
I
15-year-old take over. Yeah.
so I
Sorry.
I do apologize for their actions. We just wanted a couple of questions just answer. I'm sorry for your traumatic experience. This wasn't we weren't supposed to act like that. I'm glaring at them. Um, if you answer a few questions, we will leave you alone. Would that be okay?
Oh, oh, okay.
At this point, I'm standing right behind Denali's character, and I'm cracking my knuckles, looking at the lady menacingly.
Okay. And being he's only 15, you might well be taller than him. Well, you're playing a female though, so. But all right. She says,
I have yet
yes.
to hit my gross boat.
She
So
said yes. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. All right. So we are looking to get some more information about the Cyber Nation in this area. Can you tell us a little bit about this movement and how it came to be come into contact over here?
Okay. It
So
takes
I'm
her a
trying.
little bit to get it out, but eventually this is what she gives you. She
Hmm.
says that when she was little, she lost her hands, and
Hmm.
she had to have cybernetic replacement. So she's had them since she was little, and only recently, within the past 6 months or so, she was approached by someone who came up. His name was Joe. As you guys ever seen him? And he approached her because she was working just simply in the office, and he said that you're one of us, and we can help you become more. And she was really worried about doing it, but he talked her into it, and it was free. So he gave her free implants to make her to gain a data library and to give her better visual acuity. And the last one she had put in allows her to interact with electronics by thought wirelessly. And as
Bluetooth.
far as the Bluetooth thing, and as far as the cybernetic nation, it's just something he keeps talking about. It's some kind of union or something, and they seem to be having some movement, and they're having meeting. I'm supposed to be going to some meeting soon, some secret meeting, sometime next month.
Okay. Do you happen to know who are organizing that meeting?
She has no idea
Do-
other than Joe. It's the only contact she had.
Then Joe. All right. Well, look to Chief and I look to Miss Slapface and ask them, do you have any questions for the lady? We don't want to take any more of her time.
Yeah, we'd like to know what her routine schedule is, so that way, we do not intrude on her space, and also know that if someone's going to be looking for her, they're going to be looking for a pattern. Um,
George, none of this makes any sense whatsoever, dude. She's just a young
okay,
lady that works in an office that was approached by some dude who offered her free tech, dude. That's all she is. She's just the lady. You're overthinking it, man.
All right,
okay.
Elizabeth, I do have one question for you. Did you have some unexplained phenomena happened recently in your life?
Huh?
Have you
Hmm?
been hearing things? There seems to be a
Okay.
phenomenon that is
Oh, I see what
possibly
you're doing.
going around where people are starting to hear things.
She clamps up.
Wow. Okay. Um, well, I just want to let you know that there is possibly a moral awakening happening with some people, and they instinctively know right from wrong so much better than others. And what I'd like to just let you know, because of where the position that we're in, we're doing some special work here, and we would appreciate, because we're trying to do the right thing, we would appreciate if you didn't speak to anyone else about us. And if you are an individual that has had that ability to maybe become in contact with something else that is better than this world, maybe spiritual, and have that moral inside integrity, that you would go ahead and keep what we're doing secret.
Um, uh, uh, just don't kill me. I'll do anything.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, we won't kill you. No, by all means, we're the good guys here. And
Uh-huh.
so just go ahead and go about your business like nothing ever happened.
Okay. Anything you say. Anything. Can I go now? You do realize this is
Yeah,
her
actually,
Um,
we're
house,
gonna
right?
go.
Yeah.
yeah, this is your house. We'll go.
Oh,
Thank you
okay.
for your cooperation, ma'am. Come on, guys. I'm kind of pushing them quickly to get out.
Okay. You
Let's
guys
go to the
leave the
roof.
house. You leave the apartment.
Is
Yeah.
there roof access?
Um, probably, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we want roof access
You
because
might
we don't
have
want
to
to
break
walk
a
out
lock.
onto the street.
You probably have to break a lock,
Or
but you got Ragnarok with you, so that's pretty easy to do.
Yeah,
um
yeah, break the lock.
instead of breaking the lock, I'll say, can you open the roof access, please?
You've already left the apartment, dude.
Oh,
No, no, no. Yeah, we don't
so
want to get.
so we're outside. So we're outside now.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Huh,
I don't
isn't
want
that right, Beowulf? Bugbear's Basement, supervillain RPG, right?
to. Oh boy. So we're breaking the lock on the roof.
Yep, you break the lock, you're on the roof. This is
Yeah.
a 12-story building.
You got to mash some taters sometimes.
You gotta. That's true. All right, what are you guys doing?
All right, we're gonna fly out of here.
Two.
Well, yeah, exactly. So
What is
there's
your
some
telekinetic level, by the way?
remarkable.
Okay, you could fly in both if you wanted to.
Okay. Yeah. So we could go. I say we go right out the lounge, the seedy establishment.
Wow.
Why don't you guys do that, and I'll go talk to Joe
Yeah.
to get some more information.
Wow, Denali's the one that's paying
Joe.
attention. Good for you, Denali. If this game had
All
experience
right.
points, I would give you some. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you 50 karma for that. You go through all that. I give
So
you the one clue, and you guys, oh, let's go this way. Go this over here. So yeah, Denali, you get 50
I
karma for that. Now
yeah.
put that into your XP, please. That doesn't go into your
Okay.
pool. All right.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right.
George and Ricky and Envoy are heading down to the lower ring, down to go check out that lounge, and we have Ragnarok here is going to go try to suss out George, or excuse me, Joe.
Yeah. Joe. Yeah.
All right.
Got
So
to
let's do you with Joe first, and I'll come back and do the lounge after. So, how do you want to go about talking to Joe, dude?
All right. So since whoa, somebody's mic needs to be muted for the moment. So basically, from seeing what Envoy saw
That's right.
originally, I know where Joe is pretty much located. I
Mhm.
know, kind of his routine from that. So I'm going to use that information to kind of weave myself into it to kind of meet with Joe and get some answer about the cyber nations and the movement at large. Kind of deal.
Well, I would say about an hour time has probably passed, or probably
Hmm.
less. Last you saw, of course, it is daytime. Joe was
Yeah.
at that passport office thing. He's
Mhm.
probably still there working.
Yeah. Yep. So that's where I'm going to go meet him at that location. I'm going to be clothes, but I'm going to have my badge just in case I have to show my credentials
Okay, so you
on that.
put your plain clothes over your uniform. All right, that's fine. We'll
Yeah.
just say you had
Yeah.
a little satchel with clothes in it. That's fine.
Right.
All right, so you
Right.
were standing in front of that building. What do you want to do?
Um, just going to go enter it to scan. Well, I do remember where he's at in there, right?
You do. It's in the lower levels, but there is a problem. There are
Mhm.
several armed guards that are around this building. Two of them are standing side by side of the door.
Right. So I think one of my. So would I know? Because you said it was an embassy of like, is it an official embassy or is it just pseudo embassy?
You see no markings whatsoever. It's
Hmm.
just a building standing. There's no sign or anything.
Let's see. Is there any other entries or any other ways that I could make myself get into that place?
Okay, you kind of start trying to circle around, get to the back of the building.
Mhm.
There is a back entrance, and there's one guard here.
All right.
Mhm. Now,
Um,
in the front,
I,
keep in mind
mhm.
as you're kind of milling around, and you've been trained, so you know this. When you're milling around in the front,
Yeah.
it's no problem because there's a lot of people moving up and down the street. When you move around to the back, there's nobody. So you know to keep yourself somewhat out of sight because you've
Right.
been trained. Now you're not a stealth character, but you know better than
No.
to just walk right up to him. So he doesn't know you're there right now, but there is a guard
Yeah.
standing in front of a door. Yeah.
Am I still connected to Envoy, or has that
I
been
would assume he
taken?
has that up at all times. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would talk to Envoy telepathically and say, "Hey, see that one guard that I'm seeing? Is there any way you can suggest him to fall asleep or to go
No,
use the bathroom or
he
something like
can't
that?"
do anything like that. No, he doesn't have that power set. No.
Only if
Okay.
you want him to freak out like the girl.
Let me see. Then, is there any other um, entry points like air vent or airways that I can maybe squeeze in and go
You
through?
do see a vent on the third story.
Okay, so I want to go up there and see if I can go through that vent.
All right, you climb
All
yourself
right.
up there, and you're able to keep yourself out of sight pretty easily. There's only one guard back here,
Mhm.
although you do notice one guard walk by as you're kind of going up. He's kind of like
Mhm.
circling the property, but they're not really paying much attention. So you're good to go. You're set up that vent. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna use my
How's
strength
that
to
noise?
I don't know. Someone's
probably
making noise. I don't know.
that's probably
Hmm.
George right there doing that. I want to open that vent with my strength and not to make too many noise, but just gently open it
Yeah, that's an
with my strength.
easy thing for you to do, dude.
Okay, and then I slide in and kind of go in there.
What do you do with the
Uh,
grate that you pulled off?
is there a
Eat it.
no? I just I go in feet first, and then put the grate kind of back
Sure.
where it
All right,
was.
no problem. All
Yeah.
right, so you're moving down this vent. It is pretty tight, but you are very small, so you're able to get
Yes.
through here. And eventually, you come to a point where there's a junction, and there's a grate in below you heading, and there's a hallway below.
Right. Do I see anybody in the hallways
Not
coming in or
offhand, no.
more? Okay. So I'll gently pull off that grate
Okay.
and climb down.
You drop down. Yep, you're sitting in the middle of a hallway. You assume this is on the third floor. That's
Yeah.
that's where you are. And there's just a long hallway with a bunch of doors. It looks like an office. As it's a pretty standard looking place.
Right. Is there any remarkable things around there in this hallways? Or
No, no,
is there a
nothing in particular. There
stairway to
most
come
certainly is
down?
well marked stairway on both ends, actually.
All right. So I want to glance over just to see there's nobody coming down the stairways and just climb. And then if there's nobody, start climbing down to the level where Joe would be at.
Okay, and that would be the bottom. And you get
Yeah.
down the stairway without any problem. You do see some people as you are going down the stair open a door and come in and start going up, but they don't say anything to you. So I'm assuming you just kind of continue on your way. And you get
Right.
down to the bottom. There's nothing locked. The door is open. This hallway looks just like the ones up above, but you've already been in this hallway in your
Mhm.
vision. And you know that all the way to the end of this hallway and on the right is the door that she went in to talk to Joe.
Awesome. So I'll open the door. I'll check to see if there's nobody else there, that I'm alone before. And I slide open the door just a little bit, just to check to see if there's nobody else with Joe, and then if there's nobody else with Joe, come in.
There are 5 techs in this room working.
Mm.
Joe is at the far end working on a. He's got a huge monitor display in front of him, and he's working on something. But the other 4 techs are doing stuff as well. They're all busy working.
All right. So let's see. So I come to Chief, say, "Hey, Chief, what do you recommend since you're seeing me?" Uh,
I can't see this.
You most certainly can, dude. Your telepathy and clairvoyance can be kept on at this low level quite easily.
Oh, okay. I guess my okay. I can follow him clairvoyantly. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Easily, yeah. This is what you do. You've
Okay.
trained. This is your job in the group. Is to keep contact at all times. You've trained for this for 2 years, so yeah, no problem.
Phew.
Well, he asked you a question, Chief.
Oh, feign ignorance. Ask if he can help you with your cybernetics.
I don't
Or
believe I have cybernetics.
He has you
or
have
say
none.
you're
No.
lost. Ask him to show you the way out. You got to. I mean,
All right.
or go back to screaming.
Sorry, what was that? Because I believe someone else was making noise.
It's George. I think he gets bored and he has to
Sorry.
make noise so we know.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
it's
no.
you, Todd.
I didn't make any noise.
That was my ice. That was my
It wasn't me.
Ozark.
It wasn't me.
That was my Ozark. I'm sorry.
All right,
Okay.
no problem. Go ahead, Denali. What you doing?
All right. So the bet
Drop a flashbang.
the best the best way to alleviate any suspicions is to act like you belong there. So I'm going to go in there, act like a kid that was given an errand that he didn't want to do, and talk to Joe about confirming the movement and getting some information about
Well,
the movement.
then do it.
That's what I'm doing. So I open there, take a deep breath, and I'm going to say, "Hey, does anybody know a Joe here? Joe? Hey, Joe."
Okay.
Kind of
Um,
disgruntled.
one of the techs kind of looks at you, cockeyed a little bit, and he's like, he just points to the other side of the room, and just goes back to his work.
All right, whatever. Come on. So I go over there to say, "Oh, okay." Go to the tech that they pointed at and say, "Hey, you, Joe."
Yeah. What are you doing here, kid? I'm busy.
Uh, I wouldn't be here in this boring place if I wasn't told to do so. I'm here to confirm about the meeting for the union things. Something about next week. I just came to confirm it and check with everybody else.
He looks
Joe,
up
is there
at
any?
you very sternly. He says, "What's your name?"
My name is Wade.
All right. He's not buying even a little bit of it, dude. And he stands up and he says, "You tell me who you are right now, or I'm calling security."
Okay, I'm smile and I said, "I'm Wade, and if you call security, it's gonna be
He picks
messy
up.
for."
He picks up like a one of the kind of phones they use these days. It's more like a kind of like a ball type of thing. He picks it up and he clicks it and he says, "I need security here immediately."
Oh boy! All right. You shouldn't have done that, Joe. Not at all.
So what do you do?
Let me see. How long before security comes?
You have no clue at all, dude.
No clue.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. How about So I grab his arm
Okay.
because it's gonna be basically five question rules where you tell me what I need to know, and or else I won't break your fingers.
All right. So you're going to make a grab. Now,
Yeah.
grabbing is covered right under here, as you guys can see, and it's simply a strength roll, which is good for you. So
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and make a strength roll. Now your strength is incredible. So roll your dice and give me a number. You need a yellow, by the way.
58.
All right, you got a 58 underneath that, so come over here, 58. We come across, and under incredible, it's still a green. All right, you have a
Mm-hmm.
hold of his arm, but it's not super secure.
Wow.
Now you do
Good.
have an option here.
Yeah.
If you grab him like gently, as you've been trained,
Yeah.
you of course you just kind of have a hold of his arm. If you grab him solidly, of course you might well break it.
Right.
So what do you want to do? Because you've been taught
I'm
how to use your strength, right? You know how to use it.
Well, I'm gonna hold it gently, but
Okay.
I want to show that if he doesn't answer my question, I can easily break it.
Okay. Because you're not holding him very hard,
Yeah.
basically he goes into combat mode. And now what
Okay.
this means is we're going to have an initiative here. Now
Right.
initiative is done the same way, but instead of rolling both the whole percentile dice, you're just going to roll
Hmm.
1 10 die. Okay. Go ahead and
Okay.
make that roll.
So one, that, 10,
Now he
oh,
doesn't have anything like acrobatics or any of those kind of things that might give him
6.
bonuses to this roll. You got a 6, and I rolled a 3. All right, so you get to act first, but this guy is going in, and you notice that his right eye, which looked quite normal, this guy
Hmm.
has some cybernetics that could be seen on the sides of his head, and
Yeah.
his legs also look like they might be cybernetic. You can't really tell, but you think they are. But
All right.
his right eye starts turning red. But you act first.
Um, I guess I want to slam him down.
You don't have a strong enough grip to do a thing, but you could try to
Okay.
do a grapple if you'd like. You could try to grapple him.
I guess I'll go with a grappling.
Okay. So the same thing underneath. Now, under your talents, you only had trivia, right? You don't have any
Yeah.
combat skills. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. It's under your strength, which is incredible. So make another roll again.
Another D10 or a D10 plus.
No, the percentile dice, of course.
All right. 87.
87, sweet. So we come over here to our incredible area, and we come down to 87, which is right here, and we come across to the incredible, and of course, oh, sorry, right here, that is a yellow. All right, very nice. So that's what you needed. You see under grappling, you have a partial. Now, if you wanted a full hold, which means they ain't going nowhere, you needed a red, but that is completely fine enough. You lock him up, like
Mhm.
armbar him or something like that. You get a hold of him
Yeah.
very strongly on his and I'm assuming you because you saw the eyes, so you probably have it to where
Yeah.
you're kind of behind him. And of course
Right.
he's a little bit startled at how powerful you are for being, just a kid. But
Yeah.
he does try to escape from it, so let me get that roll. All right. All right. He tries to do an escape and fails completely. Matter of fact, in this case, because he failed so badly, he actually kind of puts himself in a worse position. So now you actually have a hold on him, a complete hold. He's locked down. Now, what that means
Hmm.
is you can apply your strength to do damage if you'd like, or you can just keep him held fast. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna hold him fast for right now and tell him to call off the security, or you'll start breaking bones.
Okay.
Say it was a mistake. It was just a prank.
He's like, "Oh, okay, okay, okay." And he with his free arm, he does touch the button, which you let him do because you have complete
Hmm.
control of his body. He hits the button. He says, "False alarm! False alarm! Everything's okay here." The voice comes back and says, "What? Are you sure? Security's coming anyway." He said, "No, no, no. Well, we don't need security." He says, "All right, what's going on down there?" And he says, "Oh, sorry, man. Sorry. I tried. I tried."
Right. And I'll say, where's the best way to talk undisturbed? now because I just had a few questions. So
Oh, he's not going to
we're
answer that question, dude.
you're gonna answer it, or I'm gonna dislocate your shoulder.
He says, I don't know. You're in the office building. What do you want? What do you want?
I needed some information about
So,
the movement.
so ask
Give
him.
me the. All right, so I'm asking him rapid firely. When it's the movement is, who's the leaders of the movement, who's organizing the movement.
What movement?
The union, the cybernetic movement.
He said, I can't tell you anything about that. What are you talking about? They'd kill me. Are you crazy?
Who would kill you?
He says, I can't.
You got to tell me something, a name. One.
He's refusing.
All right. So if you don't answer, I'm gonna break a bone. So, and you got to worry about me first instead of them. Two.
He said, I can't.
Who can tell me?
He says, you better get out of here. Security's going to be here any moment.
Are they connected to the Razorbacks?
He clamps right up.
Thank you. I push him off and I'm scurrying off. That's all the confirmation I needed.
Okay. You come to the door of this, the other techs are back to the side of the room. They get out of your way. You open the door and come in the hallway, and you see at the far end there are 3 security guards coming your way. They are cybernetic in nature, by the way.
I get to punch things.
You do.
Before I do, is there any other ways to get out? Or is it just
To your right, there's another
Mhm.
stairwell, just like the one that they just came out of, actually. Well, they probably came
All
out of
right.
the elevator, actually, but there's a
So
stairwell to your right.
So I'll go up the stairways to find another one, like another vent.
Right.
That
You
I
hear
can
them
get
talking
there.
on comms. He's going up. He's going up.
All right.
All right.
So
You head up. Now you're at the sub basement. Here is a 3. You're at B3. What do you want to do?
Is there any vents that I can shimmy into unseen?
Not in the stairwells. No.
Okay, so I'll keep going up, and then kind of check to see if they're not following me. If they are, I'm going to still keep going up the stairway.
Well, of course, they enter into the stairwell. They're probably 3 floors behind you right now.
Okay. I'll check to see one of the hallways if it's empty. If it is, and I'll check to see if there's a vent that I can shimmy into.
You pass by one door. There are people that are scurrying out of office. There is an alarm going off in the building right now. Actually, it's just started going. So it's a lot of people in that hallway. But just as a kind of hint to you, to keep in mind, you have an incredible level of strength, which means you can throw like 10 tons around, dude. You literally can make your own door. You know that, right?
Yeah, I can, but what I'm trying to do is not announce my present that a ultra super powerful guy is
okay.
breaking
fine.
here. I mean, I'll do it if I have to, but I'm
right
now I'm trying to get the least minimum way. So I'm just trying to slip in and out. I mean,
sure,
it's a kid.
I get you. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the hallway's full of people who are leaving. They're all going to the hallways, and some of them are actually heading toward the stairwell you're in, actually. And of course, you got guys in hot pursuit behind you.
All right.
Coming up the stairs.
So I'll continue going up the stair. Am I able to blend in with the crowd?
You could try.
Okay, I'll try to see if I can blend in with the crowd and take my chances to see if I can't move because they're all panic and get out the front way.
So you enter into a hallway. We'll say that this is the 4th floor hallway. And there's people all standing in front of the elevator. Excuse me.
Nobody knows the kid.
No,
nobody knows the kid.
No.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what's going on. There's just an alarm, right?
Yeah. So I'll come in, when they go into the elevator. Would I know they'd be trying to check the elevators, or do they think I'm still going up the stairs?
Well, as the elevator opens, you notice that the 3 guys you were following come through the door.
Okay.
So they're in
Security
the
breach.
hallway now.
It's not an exercise. Security breach.
Yes, absolutely. What are you
All
doing?
right. Let me see. Gotta. Let me see if I can just go into the elevator, just hide between the massive body, so they don't see me because I'm short, kind of
Sure.
deal. Okay.
You get your way in, and everybody's trying to squeeze in as many as possible, and the door is shutting, and then a hand stops it, pushes it open, and pulls in and hits the stop elevator button. He says, "Everybody out! Everybody out!" And they
All
all
right.
quickly are leaving and following the order of the security, which leaves you in the elevator by yourself and 3 guards standing in front of you. What do you want to do?
Man, this is like Captain America. So
Well, they're not in the elevator. They are standing outside of it right now. And they
okay.
say, "You, halt, surrender."
Uh, no, thank you. Jump. I guess just try to jump, break a hole up the elevator.
You want to jump up?
Yeah.
Okay. You do so very easily. You don't have hyper jumping, but you are super strong, so you can jump
Yeah.
higher than a normal human. And of course,
Hmm.
this elevator structure, the material it's made out of is like paper to you. So yeah,
Okay.
you jump up and you're kind of standing on top, but it's a pretty simple thing, so I won't make you make a roll.
All right.
What
I'm gonna open
your agility is that remarkable, right?
30. Right.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. Yeah, you're standing up
And
on
I.
top. And that's your action. Now, their action is
Hmm.
they come in and they start firing away up into the elevator
Hmm.
at you. Okay, so you got laser pulses coming at you. Let me make
Hmm.
rolls here real quick.
All right.
All right. One of them hits you and it does 20 points of damage. Now, I know you have some manner of resistance. What is your resistance?
Right. Excellent. 20
Okay.
points of damage.
So now this pulse the success I just got was a green. Okay. And
Hmm.
that green allows me to hit him, but I can't slam him or anything other thing that can be done because the damage and his resistance is the same. I could slam him, I could score a kill shot, I could do that, but I can't actually damage him. So you feel it, it's pressure, but it doesn't actually hurt you. But you know that those guns are serious business. They're not like small arm fire. You just kind of laugh
Yeah.
at it. But those things are serious weapons. What are you going to do? It's your action.
Oh, I'm getting annoyed. But I check to see if there's another door I can open. You know.
There is one above, of course.
So I'll go above and open it and try to squeeze in quickly.
You want to open it nicely or just rip it off its hinges?
Rip it off the hinges.
All right. You rip it, it falls in and lands on top of the elevator, and you jump yourself up. These guys continue firing, but of course there's nothing to fire. And one of them says, "He's gone up. He's gone up." What are you going to do?
So I'll go into one of the vents.
Okay,
Where I
there's
was
one right here
before.
in front of the elevator above you, just like the one you came in earlier.
So I'll go in quickly in there, and gently put the vent back and start
Well, it's not any
quietly shooting.
gently. There are people in this hallway. Well,
Mhm.
they're kind of scattered actually,
Yeah.
but you are seen going into the vent, so it
Okay.
doesn't really
So
matter.
I'll quickly go to the vent and quickly
Okay.
trying to get out of the building.
You work to the outside and you open the vent and you see outside that you are actually sitting on the street side now instead of the back side.
Hmm.
And a couple of the guards are down below chatting with each other. There are alarms and actual lights that are going on in front of the building. And those
Hmm.
2 guards are talking. They're not looking at you per se. But what do you want to do?
I want to try to see if I could just quickly leave the area with them not noticing me and getting out.
Okay. How you want to do that?
Is there any way is there a way I could just jump off? Is there another level I can just jump off quickly?
hmm Now, eventually, we're going to power stunt you into hyperleaping, I'm pretty sure.
Hmm.
So why don't we go ahead and start that? All right.
All right.
And now I gave him a free one. And I'm going to give everybody a free one. So you don't need to spend
Okay.
any experience points on this. I mean, excuse me, any karma on this. So
Hmm.
all I need you to do is I need you to make a strength roll. And based on your strength, So excuse me, you don't have any skills for it, but you
Yeah.
need to get a 61. So you might want to use some karma on this to make sure you
All right.
get it.
All right. So I'll use 10 karma.
Okay. Now you can use just 10. You can also leave it open-ended. The problem with doing open-ended is if you fail really
Mhm.
badly, all your karma could be gone for the day. So,
All right.
all right. So you use
Do
So
it.
10.
Do it.
what? Open ended.
No, no, you
Okay.
can do 10. 10's fine.
All
So
right.
go ahead and make your roll.
So I do a D10 just only, or a
No, no,
D10 plus.
percentile dice, of
All
course.
right.
We're on the chart.
Ooh. Only 25 with karma.
With the karma. Okay. Now you spent
Yeah.
that 10 karma, and that comes out of your active karma. Okay. And you
Mhm.
try to make a jump, and you do make a good jump, and you actually
Mhm.
clear the street from
Mhm.
where you are. You on the other side, but you land like ridiculously. And literally, as you land, you smash a car and you smash a chunk of building out on the other side. Now this
Ouch.
doesn't hurt you per se because of your resistance levels, but you didn't do this stealthily at all. Everyone's like around the area screaming like, "What the hell's going on?" And of course, the two guards see you and they're pointing in your direction.
All right. I'm running off to try to clear away from the area as fast as I can.
Okay. Now, Envoy, are you paying attention?
Yes, I was
Okay.
paying attention.
You can be extremely useful to him by and helping him get it out of here quickly.
Yeah, so at some point, I figured I'd let you guys just keep going, but I was thinking if I wasn't engaged in anything, I would have gone ahead and turned around. So
Oh, I see. Well, you see, the kid has gotten himself out. He just needs a little help getting away from security. And
right, yeah,
you can
exactly.
bird's eye view the whole place, so you can direct him exactly where he needs to go. He needs
Oh,
to go.
direct him instead of just
Yeah,
turn around. Okay.
yeah.
All right, fine then. Yeah,
Okay.
hang a right and
Yeah.
yeah.
So you help him, and he gets away very very easily. And I would assume that he's heading toward your location at his best speed. All right. Now you two have been kind of watching what the kid was doing, and whether you think it's funny or not. But you are sitting on a building, and across from you is this lounge, this Razorback lounge, and you are en route, Ragnarok.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, now we know that the Union cybernetic movement and Razor bags are connected. There's a
Yeah,
connection
and
going.
everybody knows because you're all linked here. So what are you guys doing? You sit
Yep.
in front of this lounge. What do you want to do?
Well, you know what? I'd go street clothes and then we'll just wander in and see what's going on inside first and foremost.
Beowulf, he asked, strength-wise, what Marvel hero would Denali Dude be equivalent to? Actually, he has the exact same stats as Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
I'm
more
Luke Cage.
All right.
You know,
So you
you know,
guys are
look
going to
at
try to
Christmas.
enter. You guys are going to try
You're
to enter.
Mary Poppins.
You're Mary Poppins.
I'm Mary
y'all.
Poppins, y'all.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Come
Okay.
on.
So you guys are going to try to enter into the lounge in your plain clothes.
I believe so. Of course, George isn't here at the moment, but
I'm right here. I'm right here. I've been listening all this time.
okay, he is here. Because we want to find out, you know, kind of who's maybe who's in charge, who's in an upper echelon. So,
Well, you know who's in charge. Blackhawk's in charge.
oh, Blackhawk's in
Yeah,
charge, of
that's in the
course.
dossier. We already covered that.
Well, right, that's true. Yes, okay. George, help me out.
All right. Well, I suggest that
Yeah, George, your character is built for infiltration and stuff, dude.
Yeah. George is the infiltrator.
He is.
yeah. Okay. Well, since we are, then my first step is to get a map from DeWolf so I can know the lay of the land as I go in and
Sure.
reckon.
This lounge is a very simple affair. It's a two-story building, and the interior is mainly a giant. Think of it as like a nightclub tavern type of place. There's a balcony area in the middle. There's a big old bar that is actually facing the street, as far as where it's positioned in the building. As you come in the front door, there is like kind of a coat check room and a little storage locker, and then in the back of the building is kind of like a backstage storage and stuff like that. The under level, there's a basement level. There's no screening on this building at all, by the way. There is a few offices, and this place is filled with patrons, even though it's the middle of the day, middle of the afternoon. But it's filled with patrons that are drinking, chatting, and talking. But downstairs, there are a bunch of cyber. There, everyone here is somewhat cybernetic, by the way. But down on the bottom basement floor, there is a meeting going on right now, which of course, he could try to telepathically link, which that could be dangerous. But you can see, you can't hear right now, DeWolf. There's a meeting going on, and there is actually a person who, as far as your dossier is concerned, there is a Razorback in the room, an actual
Okay.
Razorback. Yeah.
Ricky,
Okay,
I need you to get downstairs.
So I enter the establishment. I casually walk by a crowd of people. Since I am not making my presence really known, no one's
Okay,
going to
well,
be.
hold on. Let's take a look at your power set. Okay, what powers
Yeah.
do you have? List them off.
Hyperspeed, X-ray, light, remarkable, and emotion.
Okay, what does emotion mean? That doesn't help me.
Oh, I have a defense against emotion.
So
So I'm
resistance. I see. So resistance to emotion. Okay. So you have hyperspeed, you have X-ray vision, which of course is very handy, and you have light emission, which is kind of like your ranged attack, and you have a danger sense. All right. Good. Now, what are your talents?
My talent is detective, espionage, sleight of hand, and pilot.
Okay, so you are very much a rogue type of character. Okay, so
Yes.
you slip into this place, and because you're training, you're really good at blending in. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
we don't even need to roll for it. All right, and now most of the people in here are obviously cybernetic, but not everybody. And this does seem to be a cybernetic hangout type of place. But people are sitting, chatting, going about their day, drinking. It's a normal bar. It's not.
Yeah.
There's nothing stands out particularly, and you don't stand out particularly either. So what do you want to do?
Well, I casually walk into the establishment and make my way to the downstairs because I am able to watch the environment with my X-ray vision
Yes, you
and
are.
know which doors I can take. And
Yes, yes. Now,
so I pass everybody without any problem. I
okay.
make my way downstairs.
Well, hold on. You're heading toward a door that would go downstairs. Now, as you're moving through the room, this is what you gather using your X-ray vision. You see what DeWolf has already, excuse me, Envoy already put in your head, so you know exactly where it is. You know the layout, and actually, he can walk you through as you're going right now. He can do that from outside. But a couple of things come to your mind because this is stuff you know about. First of all, there's literally no security here at all. I mean, there's no bouncers, there's no alarm systems. These are things that you've been trained to see specifically because you're a detective espionage, right? There's
Yeah.
nothing. There's zero security in this place. And when you come up to that door, it is the only thing in the place that seems to have anything like a lock. But there is a lock on
Yep.
the door.
Yep.
All right.
Well, since there's a lock at the door, I slip upstairs to the bouncer that's
There's
in
no
front.
bouncer in the place. I just
There's no
said this.
bouncer. Okay. Okay. Well, then I just knock on the door.
Okay.
I knock on the door and wait for a response.
Okay.
Uh,
Now no, hold on a second. You know that from what DeWolf is showing you, there's no one near that door. The only people
okay.
downstairs are in a room having a meeting right now, and that room is downstairs, but it's literally back toward where the bar is, so it's on the other side of the building.
I'm gonna go ahead and join her.
Okay.
At least inside. So when you say there's a door and there's a lock, is it electric? electronic or is it mechanical?
No, it's mechanical.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now, George is trained in dealing with locks. Of course, it's part of his espionage, detective espionage.
Oh, okay.
He knows how to do this. He is a rogue. Just keep that in mind, George.
Then I'll just have a drink and sit up and watch.
Okay, you order a drink, no problem. And George, what are you going to do?
I'm going to pick the door
All right.
and quietly enter the basement.
Now, looking at this lock, it's not actually hard for you to pick it all, but I'm assuming you'd want to do it stealthily. So the stealth is more important than the actual lock because this is pretty easy for you to pick. As I said, this place isn't really high on security. So you're going to be making an agility roll. So tell me, what is your agility?
My agility is remarkable 30.
Okay, and because you're skilled in this, it goes up to incredible. So go ahead and make your roll. Now, all you need is a green to successfully open it, but if you want to do it quietly, you need a yellow. So go ahead and
Okay,
make your
I
roll.
got 7 and a 90. I got
Uh,
97.
a 97. Okay, you open this very easily and
Wow.
extremely stealthily. Matter of fact, the wolf, you're not even aware that he's got the door open yet.
Nice.
All right, the door is unlocked. Ricky, what do you want to do?
So Ricky peeks inside, sees that there's no one or immediately in her area, and
Well, you have X-ray vision, so you already know that's true.
yes, when I say peek, like the peepers. Okay,
Oh, I
so
see.
she
With
uses
your X-ray vision, I get it. Okay, cool. I get it. Okay.
her X-ray vision to peek inside. She sees that the coast is clear,
Hmm.
and she makes her move towards the meeting room.
All right.
She positions herself away from the door, against the wall, and she is now looking into the room,
Hmm.
surveying the different people and trying to read their lips.
Well, you don't have that skill, but you can read their body movement and then stuff like that, of course. Now, what you see is they're having a conversation, and the Razorback, who's easily known because they're all the Razorbacks wear like a kind of like a metal mantle. On their back that shows their station, and so he's got like this spiky razorback type of metal cloak on in a way, and he's sitting there and he's angry. Matter of fact, he's kind of yelling and pounding on the table at them, and you can almost hear him. He's so loud, actually, through the wall.
Okay,
You can
so
hear muffled yells, right?
I step over to one of the nearby desks and take a paper cup,
Hmm.
and I place it against the wall, and I place my ear at the base of the cup, and I am now able to listen to the conversation as if I was in the room.
Okay. Well, all right. There's some coffee cup around. Sure, we can give that a try. So you go ahead and you try to listen, and you can't make out very much, but the Razorback is demanding that all of their different groups pick up their surveillance, and they need more information of more breed, or excuse me, more legacy. They need more, and you need to pick up. You're not doing your job well enough. He's angry. These guys are supposedly, it seems, are supposed to be pointing out the people that they're supposed to kidnap, and they're not doing it well enough as far as he's concerned.
Okay, I try to convey this information to the Wolf's
It is
character.
done. Yes.
Okay,
Roger.
and now I become a little bold, and I look around the office to see if there's anything else I can peep other than just the people immediately in the office. I'm looking at the table to see if there's any papers or documents on the table.
Nothing really. You do see with your X-ray vision, there's a desk nearby you, and in that desk, there are a couple metal boxes that seem to have some money and maybe some other stuff in it, and they're inside a locked desk. So maybe that's something interesting, but other than that, no.
Okay, then I casually make my way back to the door and go upstairs without anyone noticing I was even there.
Yeah, sure. This is an easy thing, and no one's aware. Like I said, this is not a high security place, so there's not people actually looking for odd things. All right. And by the time you get back upstairs and you're sitting next to DeWolf, or excuse me, Envoy, Ragnarok is on the scene. Now, Ragnarok, you're standing outside of this lounge. Of course, DeWolf, excuse me, Envoy is keeping you, you're all connected, so you know exactly where you're supposed to go, and you got here pretty quick. But you're standing outside of this bar, and you have one problem. You're
Hold
15.
on. Yeah, he's nice. Before you do that, I'm gonna break concentration with these guys for a second.
Sure.
I'm going to take a quick scope out, like 3 blocks down the street,
Hmm.
and I want to find an address of uh, a building, and just get the general layout of what that building might be, whether it's an apartment, a tourist, or a shopping center, or the like, and what the address is,
You're gonna
or the
have to
name of the
give
building.
me more detail. What is it you're trying to do, dude?
I'm trying to find a legitimate location that is within 3 blocks away, to where of and just down the street quickly, of what something may be.
Meaning, are you trying to
So
look for a place to interrogate someone? Is that what you're doing?
to
Quietly
to yeah,
interrogate?
just to use. I'm gonna lie my pants off about knowing where some kids are at, um, and use this location to bait them there.
Okay. Um, I get what you're saying. You're trying to set up an ambush. Uh, I get the idea. Let me just, from a DN's point of view, you have zero contact with them. Why would they care what you have to say, and not just kill you as soon as you mention it? I mean, just as a question. You have no contact whatsoever. You haven't taken any time to develop any kind of contact.
Well, that's
How do you
true.
think you could just walk up and say something like that and they wouldn't just shoot you on sight? I mean, just from a DN's point of view, right?
The either you get it, you have a point.
Yeah.
How about developing those contacts?
You
You
could take
know,
time to do that. That would take you days. But then again, you are not on a necessary timetable. So,
I'm not after days. Okay. So we're waiting. So we get the kids out in the
yep.
street. Okay.
Okay. So, Ragnarok, you're there in front of the building, but you're 15. What do you want to do?
wait a minute. We're in a post-apocalyptic future where
No, we're
there's
not.
thousands of kingdoms.
This is not a
No,
post-apocalyptic. No, it's not.
no, it's not.
No.
Urban future.
You're in an
I
urban
see.
future. Now, sure, this is kind of maybe a little bit of a rundown area here down the 10th ring, and it's certainly controlled by the Razorbacks and their organization, but it's kind of like more 1970s New York. It's not post-apocalyptic.
Right. So, I mean, I could try to get in and cause a scene, but I don't think the other guys would appreciate that.
Mm,
And milling around would probably bring attention, unwanted attention. So I'm going to look to see where I can, sit and wait
sure. Plenty of
and
places.
maybe
Yeah.
goof off.
Now, you do notice this area is a little bit different than where you were. The place you were before was a pretty normal place. Here, even though it's still daytime, there are drunks on the side of the street. There's people doing drugs over in the corner. This is a much more seedy part of town. But you can find a
Hmm.
place to sit down and watch this building easily. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I act like one of those homeless kids for the time being.
sure.
Nobody cares.
Nope, nobody does, actually.
Yep.
So, what are you guys doing? You know there's a Razorback right underneath of you. Your job is to get a hold of a Razorback and find out what's going on and gain information, gain intel. That's your job. So, what are you going to do?
Um, I suggest to the team that we make a plan to distract him away from the group so that way we can capture him and interrogate him.
How about we just lift him up onto the top of the next building?
You could try to do that. Yeah. Just tell me.
I
You
can.
you can do whatever you want. Just tell me what you're doing.
Okay, well, I can go in and distract him and try to bring him out to the back of the building.
Yeah, I want to get him away from this building. First off, this is his home turf.
Mm-hmm.
So let's wait for him. I say we wait for him. Wait for him to come up, and we can
But
follow him. And don't even get too far away. Of course, the Ricky can follow him as fast as she wants to. And then we'll just pluck him. I'll just pluck him up off the street and bring him up to a rooftop.
Okay. Let me. Ragnarok, you're sitting out on the street, kind of watching things and keeping an eye on the building.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor
Yeah.
and give me a intuition roll, please?
All right, percentage roll as well.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. 49.
49. And what is your intuition?
Intuition is 10.
Okay, excellent. All right, so you succeed in agreeing. As you're sitting out here scoping and paying attention, you see just on the other this building is sitting on a corner of a crossway, right? And just sitting on the other side of the street across the way, there's a car sitting there. It's a very nice car. It's one of the hover cars actually, but it's not a flying car. It's a hover car. And you see it sitting there. It's a very nice one, and there is a driver sitting there impatiently waiting, and he just strikes you as it's different. It stands out from the scene.
All right, so am I reconnected to Envoy and the others?
I'm assuming he reconnected. Are you reconnected by now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so I relay that observation to the others. That there's a car that we could hijack, and kind of tell them the plan that we would get somebody to dress up as the driver, and
yeah, you do that.
Yeah, you guys.
I'm a kid.
You don't have.
I'm a kid.
Yeah, you don't have that ability.
I'm a kid.
Of course, the reason I put it there was so that you could follow it.
I don't want to follow it.
All right, fine. Tell me what you're doing. I'm waiting. We're wasting time, burning time, sitting here while you guys think about what you're gonna do.
Do any of these goons from the basement come up?
Well, their meeting does end, and all of them actually start coming out of the hallway up into this room, and every one of them are leaving.
What about the Razorback?
He's in the middle of the group having an extended conversation with another lady, and she's dressed in a very provocative way. She looks maybe like a madam or something like that.
Ah, shoot. Okay. All right, and we didn't get you.
I'm only built to punch things, so if you need somebody to punch, then I'll do that.
My character goes in there and trying to seduce the Razorback
in front of the mistress. Oh boy!
Wow. Okay, so you literally stand in front of him as he's leaving, and you do what?
She's trying to seduce him in front of the mistress.
I get it, but I don't get it, but I get it. All right, George, you bring your Ricky, the girl, and she just literally comes and moves in front of the Razorback. And what do you do?
I tell the Razorback I am a breed, and you're looking for me or my kind, and come and get me. And I run right out of the building while he's chasing.
Okay. That's one way to do it, I guess. All right. He, of course, with the speed of hold on, it's already done, dude. With the speed that Ricky moves, he's out of that building. DeWolf, you're sitting there, of course, undetected at the bar, and you notice that he starts talking into a wristcom, and clear enough for you to hear. And he's telling his driver to come forward and contact the others. There's something going on.
I'm just gonna make my way towards the door just to get out of this building out into the street.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
I'm
He's not leaving the building, by the way. He doesn't leave the
Yeah,
building.
I'm just shaking my head.
Yeah, of course you're all
Yeesh.
connected.
You
You
know,
see
Oh,
this
he's not
happen.
leaving.
Now, George,
Oh,
how
he's not
far do
leaving.
you run down the street?
I just run just outside the door. I am keeping the Razorback at a distance,
Dude, the
just enough
Razorback
to
is
pick
not
them.
chasing you, dude. He's not following
Yeah,
you at all. You see, the thing
Oh, he's
is,
not.
you went up
you
and said,
alerted
"Hey,
it.
follow me." But actually, what you actually did, George, was you came up and said, "Hey, I know about your secret plans. Come get me." Now he's saying, "Okay, someone is onto our secret plans. Now someone is trying to interfere with our secret plans. So let me organize myself to figure out who that is and deal with that." That's what he's doing. He's
All
not
right,
chasing you like some idiot. He now knows
Oh,
that you're on to him because you told him.
ah.
all right,
So
all right.
I run down a couple of miles. I realize he's not following me, and then I come back.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm just shaking my head. It's like worst mission ever.
It is funny. It's your first mission. You guys are making a lot of errors, but that's all right. That's part of the fun, man. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. Normally, this would have been done already, but that's okay. It's and the paths you guys have taken is interesting. You've gone much more of an espionage way for it, and that's cool, right? Because that's a good thing about role playing, right? You can do any way you want. There's more than one ways to skin a cat. That's for sure.
All right, all right. Do you want to pin it for now, or and pick it up next week,
Well,
or
I mean, I need to know what your plans are before we make any of those decisions, though. I
all
need to
right?
know what you guys are thinking.
So, all right. So basically, I would relate to the other guys. It seems that Miss Slap's face plan went sideways, alerted our target about our involvement here, so it's going to make our job infinitely harder. What I recommend is I'll knock out the driver. Um, who can cast illusion? Are anybody able to cast illusions?
No, no.
no.
Anybody out mess with their minds?
No, all I want you to
No.
do is knock on the guy's
Yeah.
window, drag him out of that vehicle, and sit in his place.
All right, I can do that. I'll wait for the car to move and somebody capture the guy, shove him in the car, and we'll
you
drive off.
okay? You see that the car is not moving. He is sitting there on some kind of heads up display, which you know is a type of phone. It's like a heads
Mm-hmm.
up holographic phone, and he's talking to someone. You don't know what he's saying, but he's talking.
Right. I knock on the window to say, like I'm asking for change, and
He
continue
says
persisting.
he
Persistent.
just kind of waves his hand at you. Go away. Shoo shoo.
Is the window still open or closed?
Oh, it's closed. Yeah.
Or is it, I'll keep knocking.
Just be
Change,
determined.
change.
Be a nuisance.
Yeah, being a nuisance.
He
To ask
gets
for change.
frustrated and he opens the door, trying to push you down by coming out the door. Do you move away or you just keep that door from opening? Which you have a choice either way.
I want the door to be opening so I
Okay.
can pull him out.
He steps out of
And
the vehicle and he says, "Look, you stupid kid, get the hell out of here. What's wrong with you?"
can I punch him out?
Of course you can. That's what you do.
Yes.
Punch him out.
Please.
All right. Give me a fighting roll.
Fighting roll. Okay. 72, and my fighting is 30.
All right. Now, for sake of convenience, I'm going to say that he came out of the car and facing you, meaning you guys are sitting at a parallel, looking at each other at a parallel to the car instead of perpendicular to it. You hit him with I'm assuming with your full strength. You don't pull your punch, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You hit him with your full strength, and he goes flying back way down the street. Now, just to keep in mind, you got to keep these things. You have to be more specific, right? Because if he was standing and you're standing perpendicular to the car, you would have just crumpled that
Yeah.
car with his body. And you
Well,
need the
I don't have
car.
the visual. Well, I don't have the visual representation.
Yes,
but
I know that. I understand that. But just
Yeah.
for the way, because keep in mind, guys, as you've seen us sitting here play today, you notice there's no maps. There's no. Well, I've given
Yeah.
you some visual cues, but there's no maps. Now, this is how we used to play
All
all
right.
the time. We never had any
All
kind
right.
of maps. Yeah.
All
But
right.
no,
So
it's no big deal. The
I'll
dude.
just
Hold on a second. You hit the dude.
Go
He
ahead.
goes flying down the street, and he lands out. You're not sure if he's alive or not.
Not my problem. I get in there, wait, and I see. Is there a hat or something in there?
It's not my problem. I don't fucking care.
No, there's not a hat. There's nothing like that. He was wearing a hat, but it's probably not
Well,
on his head now.
actually, I look there and I see the hat there, and I put it on.
Okay, fine. There's a hat. You have it on. All right.
Yes.
He's in place, the
now wait.
wolf. What are you doing now?
Yes.
What are you doing?
Yeah, hold on. I got Ricky here running back and forth.
You do.
And I got this guy, and I got to get this guy basically to leave. So,
Oh, he is going to leave. Yeah, he will. If you guys are just waiting to see what happens, now you're sitting in the car, and you notice that he several times is trying to, because you're sitting there. Did you leave the place, or are you still in? Oh, you have your clairvoyance. That's right. He keeps
Mhm.
talking into his wristcom. You don't know what he's saying, but eventually here, pretty short period.
Okay.
I'd say about 7 minutes or so. You
okay.
see 3 vehicles pull up, heavily armored.
I'm going to break the wrist comm. I'm going to crush it.
Not yet.
Dude,
Not yet.
you can
It's a
do that, but keep in mind, DeWolf, you're outside the building, right?
Yeah, but that's well within my range still.
Yeah, but you would have to go back into the building and use your telekinesis, is what I'm saying.
I can use it through clairvoyance, or
No,
I'll go
you
back
can't.
inside.
You cannot use it through clairvoyance. You can use telepathy through it, but you can't use your telekinesis. No.
Well, then, by all means, I have to see this thing. I wouldn't have left. I wouldn't have gone out then. I
right.
intended to, but when he didn't leave, then I didn't leave.
All right, fine.
Because I want to be in his. I want to be in his presence as much as possible.
All right. Then he's trying to talk to his driver, and the driver's not answering. And 3 vehicles
Yeah, well,
pull
I'm
up
gonna crush the
outside, heavily
comm.
armored ones. Okay,
I look to see what's in the vehicles and how many people and what's their complement of weapons.
Well, they're all getting out, and you see a bunch of henchmen get out with weapons, and 2 other Razorbacks step out as well, and they're heading into the place.
Oh, boy.
Now, DeWolf, you're going to make a telekinetic strike against that. So we're going to consider this like a grab. So just give me what's your agility?
Excellent.
Okay. Go ahead and make a roll for me, please.
Okay. I would normally do this just to have fun. Here we go. And now, boom. 63.
63. All right. This is just a simple piece of tech. So you use your telekinesis to kind of wrap around it, and you crush it. And immediately he goes into a defensive stance, looking around. Now, there hasn't been any major alert put into this room, of course, because there hasn't been any fighting or anything. So there's still a lot of patrons in here. They're just going about their business, and he starts scanning the room, looking for where it's coming from.
I drink my drink.
All right. And now you see this compliment walk into this place. What are you guys doing?
How many of them are there?
You have basically, we'll say, 5 henchmen and 2 Razorbacks.
Okay.
They all have guns?
Yeah, and there's still drivers out in the cars, by the way. They stayed in the car. Yes,
Yeah,
no,
but they
they're
all got
heavily armed.
guns.
They're all heavily armed, yes.
Okay,
So-
I use my energy emission light against these enemies to temporarily blind them.
Okay. Now, George, you are outside the building. They are inside the building, George.
Well, I ran inside to do this.
Okay, so you go inside and you just pop attack. All right. This is what you got to deal with, DeWolf. That's on you, man. You have fun with it. But all right, he runs into the room and pops a flashbang, basically. DeWolf, give me a endurance roll, please.
Oh, shike. Okay, yeah. Click or tap drag. I will whoosh. Oh, 41. My endurance is remarkable.
Okay.
Karma.
Yes, you just got it. Okay. Your eyes are a bit blurred though, but you haven't been actually blinded. I've been sitting here rolling for these guys, and you notice that the 5 henchmen are all, covering their eyes. They're kind of blind. The 3 Razorbacks don't even bend. As if maybe they have protected senses. But of course, they see you, which means they engage with you, George. So they're going to take their attacks, George. Now they're going to shoot at you. Now you do you have any kind of defenses or anything like that, George?
Yes, I am. I have excellent fighting. Agility is remarkable 30. Strength is typical 6. Endurance
No,
is
I need powers. Do you have any like
powers.
body
Powers.
resistance or invulnerability or anything like that?
I have the danger sense, the remarkable 30, which means I can evade their attacks on me, I
Mhm.
believe. And I can also, again, the hyperspeed, and I can
Yeah, no.
shoot.
The danger sense is going to certainly add to your protection. Okay.
Do we get to roll initiative?
I roll.
Yes, give me an initiative roll, everybody. Yeah, please.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm
A
just going to use
D10?
the one die. I got a 3.
I got 61.
That's
I
not
got an
how it
11.
works. That's not how it works, George. Roll a
It's
Well,
a
then
10
you got a
sided,
1.
please, George. Just a 10
Booster, say
sided.
deck.
Piss off, Todd.
All right. I got an 8.
How you been, buddy?
Oh, I've been swell. Let's have a conversation over these guys trying to play RPG. How does that
Yeah,
sound?
let's not. All right, George. Everyone's getting their initiatives ready, and I rolled really low, so I think everyone's going to for me anyway. But these 3 Razorbacks get a shot on you. 2 of them miss you cleanly. The other one hits you so hard he scores a kill shot. So first thing that happens, George, is you take 20 points of damage. So the health number you have, remove 20 from that.
All right, so 76 becomes 66.
No, 56.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And they have he scored a kill shot on you. Now what that means is you need to make an endurance roll. So go ahead.
All right, so I roll.
Use karma.
Yeah, you might want to use karma. Yeah.
So do I roll or do I karma?
I would roll the dice and say that you're using karma. That's
I'm
what you
rolling the
should
dice.
do.
All right, so I roll the dice, and okay. It's hung up now. Oh, I
Okay.
guess it's okay. 50. 0 and
All right.
50.
So what is your endurance?
Endurance is amazing 50.
Okay. And you said you got a 50. Right. And
Nice.
you were using karma, so you need to burn 6 karma. Reduce your active number by 6. The active number by 6. Okay.
Okay, is that the 70 on the left or the 70 on the right of the
That
word
is the
active?
one that is after the word active. Right.
Okay, and I
Okay.
reduce it by 6.
6 points. That's right. Okay. And you're able to, so you're able to slough it off. There's no kill shot on you. You're fine. But that was a hard hit right in the center of your chest, and of course it hurt. Obviously, but you're good to go as far as mechanics go. All right, and initiative. We'll start at the top. Now you're outside in the car. So you
Mhm.
have to let me know what you do, but I'm going to count down from 10. 10, 9.
I'm just waiting for them to tell me what to do because as they keep acting, the situation becomes worse. So all I'm telling you is like somehow get our target into the cart so we can drive.
Okay, DeWolf, do you
That's all
want
I'm
him
gonna
in
do.
the room or not?
If this has gone south, we're going to need muscle.
Okay, so I'm going to count down. You guys tell me when your initiative number is, okay? 10,
8.
9, 8. Go ahead, Denelli.
All right. So basically, I guess I'm no longer the driver. They're calling for muscle. I'm coming in to lay the smackdown on them.
Okay, you come busting into the room, where they're
Mhm.
at, and you see a bunch of henchmen are holding their eyes. They've been something. Oh, you saw what happened through DeWolf, actually.
Yeah.
And you see three Razorbacks, these big bulky guys, are just
Mhm.
blasting at Ricky. You can move and act. So you're in the room. You can take an attack action if you'd like.
Yeah, take an attack action.
All right. So who do you want to hit? You want to hit a blinded henchman, or you want to hit a Razorback?
I want to hit a Razorback.
All right. So you kind of come to the room, keeping your momentum, and you kind of barrel into him with a punch or a kick, whatever you prefer. And go ahead and give me a fighting roll. That's your remarkable for you. Go ahead.
All right, I got a 34.
Okay.
Am I?
He sees you out of the corner of his eye, and he kind of
Mhm.
shifts his weight a little bit, and you swing wildly and miss him. Okay. 7,
Okay.
6, 5, 4.
Do I try to hit him again?
No,
Or
this isn't you. You're done. I'm giving initiative countdown. DeWolf, what is your
3.
initiative, dude? 3. And George, what is your initiative?
My initiative is where is I I don't see any.
No, George. You have to roll a 10-sided dice, dude. Go ahead and roll it.
Just a 10-sided dice.
Yeah.
All right. 1.
Okay. So DeWolf, you go ahead, and then George and I go at the same time.
Sure, yeah. So I am going to bring up my energy shield, so I have that available.
Sure.
And then I'm going to grab the largest gun in this of these guys. If it's 2 of them, I'm just going to pick one, and I'm going to start yanking guns out of people's hands and throwing them across the room.
Okay. The henchmen actually have the largest guns, not the Razorbacks.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So I guess that's a telekinetic grab.
It is, but because they're currently blinded and disoriented, I will allow
Oh,
you to have a multi effect. So go ahead and give me a roll based on your agility, please.
yeah. If they're not doing if they don't know what's going on,
Mhm.
I'll grab two of them or 3. 44.
44. And what is your agility?
Excellent.
Excellent. So what was that number? 44, you
Says
said?
you.
44. Okay. You're able to get 2 of them, 2 of the 5, and they go flying across the room. They don't have a very good grip on it because they're disoriented. Okay.
That's what
George, what
I'm
do you want
talking
to do?
about.
I want to take the initiative and throw dice and attack.
Yeah, but how do you want to attack? Just tell me what you're doing.
Oh, I want to blind them once more.
Okay, the guys are already blinded. When you do that, you're going to blind the whole room, including your own guys, and the
yeah, don't do
Razorbacks are
that.
obviously immune.
So don't do that. Maybe
Oh.
shoot
Okay.
light at them. Shoot light at the henchmen to knock them out.
Yeah, maybe just laser blast them to death. Maybe that would
Oh,
be
I
a good idea. Yeah,
I can focus my light energy.
of course you can.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Focus your light energy and shoot those henchmen down.
yeah.
I like to do just that.
Okay, so you're gonna take out some of these dazed henchmen, which actually in this current situation, because you're not doing anything that is needing some kind of meticulous effect, like what you saw DeWolf just do, you literally can just blast one of them. All right. So tell me, what is your light emission power level?
My is good 10.
You have so good emission. Now these henchmen are just normal people. They probably got some cybernetics. Of course they have some, but they don't have any armor per se. And you blast one guy, and he kind of holds his side now. He's not out, but you've heard him. He's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then it's my action. So the henchmen are going to make rolls. Hold on a second. Okay. Well, that sucks. The henchmen are all still blind, and then Now the Razorbacks know there's more going on. One of the Razorbacks actually is, even though he has a gun in his more of a pistol, laser pistol in his
Mhm.
right hand, he's actually just kind of clubbing at you, George, because you're right in front of him. All right, so he's gonna make a roll on you. Okay, and he just gets a normal strike, George. But these guys are no joke, and he does 30 damage to you.
Okay.
So you were sitting on 26 hit points. You're almost out, dude. One more shot, you're out. Right? Now,
All right.
this comes in. We haven't dealt with this quite yet because it's our first combat. You guys also have things that are available to you like dodge or evade. Now, dodge and evade work in this game very simply. If you make a dodge, it's a full round action, and what it does is it puts a certain number of column shifts for minus column shifts for them to hit you. Which makes you a lot harder to hit, and you could maybe put yourself in a more tactical position. Evade, what this does, it is allows you to evade this round, meaning you can't do anything other than evade. But if you get a yellow or a red, you could actually get bonuses to hit the next round. All right, these are things you can do in game. Keep that in mind. Um, so let's get initiative again. Everybody roll a 10-sider, please.
10.
I got a
DeWolf?
0. I count that as a
That's
10.
a 10. That is a 10. George?
I got a 2.
Okay. All right. So we're going Denali, DeWolf, me, and then George. So we'll start with Denali. What are you doing there, dude?
I want to knock one of the Razorbacks down,
Okay.
and I
Now
roll a 62.
you roll a 62. That
Mhm.
is a yellow, I think, for you. Hold on a second. 62. No, that's still a green. All right. You strike him with your full force. Now, when you came in, did you hit a Razorback or did you hit a henchman? You
I
whiffed.
hit it.
Okay. All right. That's right. You
Yeah.
whiffed. All right. You hit
What,
this
what, do you,
guy.
what,
You,
what
you
do you mean?
hit him.
Wait.
Yeah, no,
Go
no, I
ahead.
know, I got what you're doing. You
Mhm.
strike and hit him. Now you feel that his body is armored, right? You can feel
Mhm.
that, but your strike is strong enough that it actually crumples that armor and goes through and does damage. So you know you did damage. Matter of fact, you probably did about half damage. So you are certainly strong enough to hurt them, but to understand that they are armored, and he doesn't like it. So you've got his full attention. And DeWolf, what are you doing?
I am going to fly across the room,
Hmm.
my body directly into this the guy that the original Razorback, and charging him and
Hmm.
slamming him to the across the room.
Okay, so
I want to get a hold of him.
you want to do like a literally body slam, a body charge.
Yep. I'm gonna
Okay,
fly
okay.
straight across
Now
the room
there
and
you
charge into
go.
him.
Now there's actually a thing called charge, and of course DeWolf knows this because he's played this game before, and that's why he's getting distance because he knows he needs it. But so you easy enough. Your speed is you're a very fast flyer, so you get yourself in position and you do your charge attack on him, no problem. All right, and your charge now we're going to see what you can do with that. So you have your telekinetic shields up, so this is not using your
Yep.
strength. You are using your, I mean, excuse me, not using your endurance. You're using whichever is higher. Your telekinetic
They happen to
shield.
be the same.
Okay, so go ahead and make your roll. And what category are we under?
What
What's your
category?
column? Excellent,
They're
remarkable.
both remarkable.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead and make your roll.
Uh,
We're looking over
but I
here, by the
believe
way.
you get.
You get
I bet you
plus
get.
one. You
I
do
believe
get
you
plus
get a
one.
column shift.
You do get plus one.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah. For the speed.
Yeah.
I
And
got
if
a
you had more
30,
distance, you
which
could
is
have got
not.
more. Okay, what
Yeah,
was that?
30 is not so good. I
No,
got a
you miss.
30.
No, you miss. And
Barely
basically, this
missed.
guy is kind of just steps to the side and kind of uses his hand and kind of pushes you off target a little bit. But of course, you're still in complete control, but you have failed to hit him. My turn. This guy who DeWolf, you just tried to charge, body, literally body
Yeah,
charge. He takes his pistol and just shoots at you. Okay. And let me make a roll real quick. All right.
good luck, buddy.
And he scores on you. What is your sheath protection?
30.
30. Okay. He hits you like on the left leg, but your energy's too strong, and he can't. This blaster can't hurt you.
Yeah, I'm trying to draw fire away from Ricky.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Then it comes to the other one. No, the one that you were dealing with. I see. I see what you're doing. He goes attention, but you going after the main guy who was in the meeting,
Yeah.
right? Okay. The guy that's
Yeah.
on Ricky, he's taking another swing at Ricky. He just kind of, brute forcing you, and he misses. And then the one that is sitting there fighting our young powerhouse, he takes a swing at you, and he misses as well. That wasn't a good round. All right, so go ahead, George. It's you.
Okay. Is in the heat of this battle and the damage that I'm taking, I do a strategic retreat out
Okay, so
into the
you need to do an evasion then. So tell me, what are your talents again?
My talent is detective, espionage, sleight of hand, and pilot.
Okay, so you're going to do a dodge here. Now, do you want to just dodge out of combat, or do you want to try to put yourself in a more advantageous situation?
I want to dodge out of combat.
Okay, so go ahead and what is your agility?
My agility is remarkable 30.
Okay, so go ahead and make that roll for me. Roll the dice and give me a number.
All right, my number is waiting for it to pop up. 7 and 50, 57.
So yeah, you need to give me a percentage number. So 57. Okay, so 57. Excellent. This is a green roll. So yeah, let me just make sure. Yep. It's a green. So basically, what's going to happen is next round, as he tries to hit you, he gets a -2 column shifts to do that. Okay. Then we'll see how that works next. Initiatives, please.
Okay. That's a D2.
2.
10-sided
8.
dice, George. 10-sided dice.
10-sided dice. All right.
Yes.
So I'm throwing it and 50.
No, a 10-sided dice, George. A
No,
10.
So
D10.
it's a 5.
D10.
So just call
So
it
it's
a
a
5.
5.
Yeah,
Oh,
just call it a 5.
thought it was a
Okay, Denali, it's going to go Denali, me, George, and then DeWolf. Denali, go ahead.
All right. So you said that punch took him halfway.
No,
I
it
get a
didn't.
90.
Half of your strength was taken by him, is what I meant. No, he's still in really
Oh,
good shape. These guys are serious. These Razorbacks are no
I
joke. Here.
punched him again, full strike again, 90.
Okay, so we're just. Oh, you did. Oh, okay. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
What's your fighting?
Fighting is 30.
Okay. You got a 90 on that. Sweet. All right.
Yep.
Now, you hit him solid. He takes that damage. He's showing a little bit of wear, but he's still got plenty of hit points. But the problem is you hit him very solidly. So let me make a roll. Okay, he fails that roll, and what happens is he goes flying across the room. Now, as he goes across the room, because you're very strong, so you can literally move him across this whole room. As he's going, he hits several of the henchmen and knocks them down because they're still disoriented, right?
Right.
And he literally stops at the small stage is sitting on the other side as he smashes into amps and stuff like that. So you literally cleared the room with him. And those henchmen are making another roll, and two of them are still on the ground trying to get a hold of themselves, and the other three are no longer blinded. Okay, and I'll say that one of them still has their main big weapon. All right, so that was very effective. Coming down to, I believe, me, right? Or who is next?
Yeah, it's you.
It's me. All right. So George, this Razorback is basically kind of try to grab you up and get a hold of you. All right.
Okay. So
And
I
he fails so badly, actually. Damn. Matter of fact, I need to check if that's a negative. Okay, no. All right. He tries to get you a hold of you. You're so fast and he's so slow. He looks like an idiot trying to grab a hold of you. And of course he was also at a -2 because of your previous roll. The other guy is sitting here. He gets himself up from just being knocked across the damn room, and he's doing a full room charge right at you though, Denali. Okay, and he's
Yeah.
going to try to do that.
So he's going against my endurance.
No, he's going against his own self. In this game, we don't have
Okay.
opposing. You're going against your statistics, and he comes up and he is able to hit you, but he can't slam you or anything like that. He does slam into you though, however, and you have what is your armor?
Body resistance 20.
20. You take 20 points of damage as he comes up. You're able to kind of move with him, so he can't slam you across the room like you just did to him. But you do take 20 points of damage from it, above and beyond your armor. Okay. And then the
Okay.
third Razorback, he's trying to deal with a DeWolf, and he's shooting a blaster at him. Hold on a second. And he hits you. Matter of fact, he just scored a stun. All right. So first thing, DeWolf, he can't. What is your armor again?
30.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this guy actually can't hurt you. Therefore, he's not equal to you. So he can't even stun you. So he's just wasting his time, and you can see in his face he's realizing that. So I think the wolf is next, right, or is it George?
George's.
Yeah. Go ahead, George. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to try to take a weapon in hand and shoot these guys.
What weapon?
The one that was in the Razorback's hand.
It's still in his hand, dude.
Yeah,
Well, I threw some earlier.
Yeah, there's some on the
since
other side of the room. You could do that. Yeah.
He's
since
fast.
I'm so quick, I'm going to try to take a weapon out of their hands so I
Okay.
can use it again.
No, you can do that. You can do that. It's called a grab. So this is a strength-based roll, though. So go ahead.
All right, so I'm rolling, and I got a 7 and a 90.
You need to give me your percentage, George.
97.
97. Okay. So not only have you grabbed it, you've broken it. You did it so quickly and so hard that you snapped that gun right in half. So he's disarmed, but you don't have a gun yourself. All right. So then I think DeWolf is last, right?
Yep. Telekinetic grab the head Razorback and head to the door. We are getting out of here, folks.
All right, so you're going to make a grab. So actually, this would be a grapple, a telekinetic grapple. And of course, it's strength-based, but it's actually based on your telekinetic strength, which I think is 30. So go ahead and make that roll. You need high. You might want to use karma on this dude.
Oh, it's a 66.
Okay. Oh, so no karma. All right. Let me see here.
I already had the roll going.
Yeah, that's fine. You did score a yellow, which means you have a partial hold on him. But because you don't have a complete hold, now it becomes a wrestling match. His strength versus your strength. And they are equal. So you're basically in a tug of war with this guy right now. Initiatives, please.
Okay.
6.
All right, Ricky moved towards the door. 9.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
All right. So I have a 9. Does anyone have a 10? Okay. Who has a 9? I have a 9. I think DeWolf did.
I have a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
George, tell me what your initiative number is, please.
5.
Okay. And what was yours, Denelli?
6.
6. Okay. So you and I got to go at the same time, DeWolf. So I'll let you go first.
All right. I'm basically doing the same thing. I'm lifting this guy up, and we're
let's just do
getting out of here.
opposed strength right now because it's the same. Just give me a number.
I will use karma though.
Okay.
And I'm just going to dump it all.
All right. Go ahead.
I got a 90.
All right. So what were you looking for? We'll say that you're going for max here. So you're going for red.
I'm going for red.
90,
Yeah.
You lose 5 karma. That's from your active, right? That is from your active.
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And You have a full hold. He rolled a white, actually. He completely failed. So you have complete hold of this guy. You've got him off his feet, and you are moving out of this building with him in tow. Okay.
All right. Yep.
Okay.
All right, guys. We're heading out the door.
All right. Now, my turn with this guy. He tries to, which I just did. He tries to break, and he can't. You got a good solid hold on him. The other Razorbacks in the room. The one that was you were dealing with the guy who was at the meeting, so he's the one trying to shoot you. So he's out of the situation. Of course, we have Ragnarok, and one of these Razorbacks are kind of toe to toe with each other. So he's going to just try to lay into you with a punch. But this time he's kind of doing, he flat foots himself and he throws 2 punches at you, dude. Quick succession. All right. And hold on, let me get the other one. All right. He hits with one of them, and he does another 20 points of damage to you. You've taken 40 so far. What's your health right now, Denelli?
I am at 110.
Okay. Yeah, you're a tank. You're a damage absorber. But you guys are toe to toe. And then the one that's over there trying to deal with George, he is he was trying to grab up George. That didn't work. So he's gonna literally do a roundhouse kick on George and just try to put him down because George is pretty beat up. So he's hopefully he can just take him out of the fight. He misses though. He whiffs over the top of your head, George. All right. Next, I believe is George. What are you going to do, George? You see DeWolf is
George.
screaming in your head, get out. You see him leaving the room with the guy.
Okay, then I evade, leave.
Okay, make a dodge roll. Give me an agility roll, please.
All right. Throwing it. 94.
Okay, 94. All right. So you dodge very effectively away from this guy, and you head toward the door. Now, of course, you are very fast. So you get out the door probably before DeWolf does, actually. And that brings us down to Denali. What are you going to do?
I'm going to use Karma with this roll.
What do you want to do?
So I'm fighting with the guy. If I want to punch him, kind of like a pool and hit the other guy. I want to punch so hard that the guy that I'm punching hits the other Razorback to give everybody opening.
Sure. That is a directed slam. You most certainly can do that. You need a yellow, however.
Okay. So I roll. I'm using Karma.
Okay.
94, and I'm using 6 for Karma, so 100.
Okay. So it doesn't work like that, actually. It doesn't work like that. Hold on, let me help you out. You got a remarkable. You're seeing in 94. You literally use 1 Karma. Now, if you had made that red, well, which I know you were going for, it would have actually cost you 10 Karma, which is kind of interesting. So you only lose 1. That's how that works. But you do get exactly what you want. It's not only a slam, but a stun on this guy. So let me do his stun roll first, just to see. Okay. Oh wow, nice. I literally rolled a 3. All right. So this guy is flying through the air unconscious. You just KO'd him, right? He's completely out. Now that doesn't mean his health is out. It just means he is stunned, right? He's unconscious, and he goes flying, completely slammed toward this guy. Now the other guy gets a reaction. So let me make that roll real quick. And I'm assuming you're throwing him toward the Razorback that was attacking George, right?
Right.
Because that's the only one left in the room. The other Razorback is actually able to kind of put his hand up and deflect the guy, and the guy just smashes into a wall and actually breaks him a good chunk of it as he hits into it, and he's just completely out. But the other guy didn't get hit, but you did take 1 out. Okay, so you're still standing in the room though. Whereas we come into a new round, one of the henchmen does send a shot out after the wounded one and misses. So laser blast does go over the top of your head, George. And everyone has left this room except for you, Denali. What do you want to do? You're in here with 2 armed henchmen and 3. The other 2 picked up guns. Now that's what they did this round. And
get out of there.
3 armed henchmen and 2 Razorbacks who are still standing. Well, no, 1 Razorback.
I want you to get out of there and block the door with the car.
Yeah, I'm gonna run. I guess I'm gonna escape since that's what I was trying to do.
Okay, give me an initiative roll then.
All right. Let's see. Get rid of the D plus 10. All right. I got a 5.
Okay, so you go ahead and make your movement first. So I'm assuming you run out of this room. There's no one
Yeah.
personally engaged with you, so we don't have to deal with that right now. You head out,
Okay.
and he told you to block the door with a car. Well, there's several heavily armored cars right in front of you with drivers
right.
in them.
Well,
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I guess he wants me to flip the car and barricade it.
Yes.
He wants you to barricade the door, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So I guess I'll do that.
As the kid is running by, he just kind of puts a hand on one and throws it toward the thing, puts a big, huge dent in the front of this building, and the guy in the car is like, "Oh, what the hell's going on?" As this car slams into the entrance. Now, of course, the wolf is flying, and he's well away. Our speedster is probably eating a hamburger by now. The only one left to get out of the area is you, Denali.
I steal the car.
I'll bring him with me if I can.
I
So
steal
you
the
go
car
get
that
in
was
the
so
car
hard.
and you just drive
Oh
away.
wait, no, yeah, you steal the car, yeah.
Yeah,
That's fine.
and just drive.
Okay, so you're driving away. Okay, boom. That's where we're gonna lock it down for today. At least we got that combat in. Now, we guys.
The League of Supervillains.
Jeez, talk about going about things, everything ass backward. Very interesting, but that's part of the fun too. You never know what the player's going to do.
I got it, dude.
All right, guys. Thank you for hanging around and checking that out. It went a little bit longer than what I wanted, but that's okay. And they did accomplish what I needed them to do in Act 1. So we did actually finish Act 1 today. So we're on schedule, which is
goodness,
important.
yes.
Wait, what did we accomplish?
You got a hold of a
Nothing.
Razorback. That was my whole plan for you today, guys. You could have finished this so quickly, just going down the lounge, pounding through the floor, going in, grabbing the guy out of the meeting, and walking away, or fought your way out. You could have done it that simply. Just a
I
little.
thought about it, but I didn't have the strength, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I did. I could have maybe.
Yeah. But that's okay. Going about it this way was interesting too. Although George, you really need to think about what you do first, though. You need to take a little more time to think about your actions, how they're going to affect the world, right? Because the people you're fighting are going to be, I'm going to treat them as they are, right? Now, if you're dealing with some drugged out, crazy, cyborg character, well, maybe you can do stuff like that and get away with it. But these guys are mafia. They're smart, dude. They're not idiots, especially the Razorbacks. So, you have to think about who you're dealing with, right? But nevertheless, guys, thank you very much. We're going to get out of here. Thank you for coming out to Bugbear's Basements. Next week, we're going to continue on to Act 2, which should be fun. And now these guys start to understand what they can do and who their characters are. I think it'll be a little smoother. Any guys have any comments you want to make for today, or any points or what have you?
It looks like I'm technically the leader because I know what's going, at least how to handle the mission.
It seems so. The kid's in charge. But what about you, DeWolf? What do you think, dude?
I think it's fun, yeah, and it's interesting to take, especially someone who's completely new, and introduce them, to this, and
it is. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, especially in this the entertainment of the mind, because there's no map, there's nothing else going on,
That's right.
and so just having to learn, to do even something simple like requesting how to dodge.
Yep.
If you don't know that the rule set enables you to do that, sometimes you don't even think to ask for it. So it's good that we're doing that, and I think next time around we'll get things smooth and we'll get our tactics together, a lot better.
No, I think so. How about you, George? What do you think? What did you think about this? I think it's probably your first time to play this game, and I don't think you've played many RPGs before. So, what did you think about this experience?
I have never played RPGs before. I did buy an RPG game. It was John Byrne's Alpha Flight.
Okay.
I bought it just because of the artwork.
Sure.
And I looked at it. I was thoroughly confused, and I just looked at the artwork.
No, that's okay. I mean, the thing about role-playing games, you need at least one person amongst you who has memorized the rules completely, and that's a daunting task, right? And I think that's why a lot of people don't get into role-playing, tabletop role-playing, because it takes study and preparation. It's not just sit down and press a button on a video game, right? But you're
Okay.
all good. You're good to go.
One thing.
I have all the rules in my head. So does DeWolf, actually.
One, one thing I gotta know is how long did it take you to create that awesome backstory?
That was done yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know. 20 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
It is, man. Those kind of backstories are feature film quality stuff here.
Well,
I
yeah, but
mean,
I've been DMing for literally 40 years, dude. I'm not joking. I've been doing this a
gee,
long time, man. So it's not that hard. It's just kind of standard practice, right?
okay, so basically, I just have to just hang out in DM games and just record their opening monologue and going like, okay, got my story for my next book.
I guess so, maybe. But I don't know. I think it's pretty cool because when you're looking at setting up a superhero game, right? You need to have a reason why things exist, right? You could just simply say that mutants have been around forever, whatever, yada yada yada. But that's not fun. With a superhero game, you want to have some kind of event that has brought things on. And many people come up with all kind of events. I just had an idea in my head that the idea of some a gigantic battle with this literal mad god and them destroying the body of the god, but the consciousness, which is literally 3 days long, as far as our sun's concerned, and that's traveling across and affects the planet. I just thought it was a cool idea. That's all. It came out of that simple thought, and then everything else just was built upon it.
Boy, I was thrown. I was I was not expecting that, right? So then I had to start formulating how this character now, because of my original idea, who is he, and what is he in this world?
Sure.
So
And that's
yeah.
also why I put 6 decades between the event and where we are, so that we've had generations and things have become, what it is. The world is not a great place, and that's why your characters are part of the Order of the Sun. You're trying to bring things back, and of course, we had some rather villainous portrayals here from you guys today. But hey, sometimes it takes a hammer to beat a hammer, I guess.
Hey, I was the least among them being.
This is true. This is true. Of course, George is
That's
really the
not
bad
true.
guy. George is the bad guy. He abuses innocent women, and he jumps in the middle of rooms and blinds his own teammates. So you go, George.
Denali went into a comm center and roughed up a dude.
He did. He did. He did. He did. Which is an option, right?
Yeah.
It's absolutely optional. I mean, you guys are here to get it done. How you go about it is up to you. Now, that doesn't mean your bosses won't evaluate how you got it done, but we'll see
Right.
how that goes later.
Which is what I was mindful for, and why I didn't really want to destroy too much property, and why I was outside my skill level. Of I'm not the infiltrator who does that sort of
No,
things.
you're not. And to be honest, I really think we should have fleshed your character out a little bit more, and maybe we'll have a conversation about doing that. We just threw your character together so quickly. I think we need to add a few talents to your character actually to make it more sensical, right? We'll do that later.
Right.
And yeah, Beowulf, I know this is a pretty short session. Most of them go much longer. I get it. But we're online and stuff, and I wanted to keep it under 4 hours, which we've done. And actually,
Yeah.
if these guys if this was a seasoned team, like I say, at a later chapter we were doing, they would have had this done in under 2 hours for sure. But
This was a light session.
Extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have, like he mentioned earlier, we could have gone to the lounge. He was. That's why he was repeating. When the storyteller repeats certain elements over and over again, that's the hint for the player to say, "Oh, there's no security here. Let me crash into it and get the person, not do everything that we did today." So,
well, that's all right.
just be
though.
mindful.
It's totally cool.
No. Right. Just keeping that in mind for future hiccups. So when he's emphasizing things, that's an important thing hint from the storyteller to say, "Hey guys, go this way." But
Yep.
the story will go wherever we act.
Yeah, but then again, keep in mind that I have 4 acts laid out for this introduction to this world, and you guys finished Act 1. So Act 2 will be
Yay!
next week.
Yep.
So it all
Alrighty.
worked out all well and good. And I will give you guys karma points and stuff offline. But thank you guys very much for joining us. This was a lot of fun. I'm enjoying doing it. And as this team works together, they will become smoother. And the cool thing about this game is you see there's only 3 party members. It's totally cool. We're dealing with superheroes. I mean, you literally look at Denali just threw an armored van in to block a door without me requiring any role from him whatsoever, right? So these are full on superhero level guys, and they're capable of doing it. They just need to make sure to stop attacking their own team, George. But other than that, we're going to get out of here, guys. So thank you very much. Keep in mind, of course, George has Joe King. Is that still on or is that done?
It's in demand.
All right, rock on. So definitely go check out Joe King on Indiegogo. Definitely, please check out the Tales from Beyond the Gate. We certainly appreciate any kind of help you can give us on that. We really want to get to that goal of $10,000. And yeah, thank you for coming. And of course, keep in mind that the Blacklist universe is probably ongoing. So thank you guys for staying here. But tomorrow is that? No, that's not.
That's tomorrow.
That is tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
We're
Tomorrow.
all good. We're safe. All right.
You're jumping. You're jumping ahead.
I am jumping. But tomorrow, we do have our normal comics comics news today, and I do believe we have a guest. So come on back.
Right.
All right, Denali, take us out, dude.
Well, thank everybody for joining us. Come back for tomorrow, where we speak with, I believe, with our guest Murphy,
Yep.
Who will talk about their book. And as always, your perception shapes your reality. So always make it a good one.
Namaste. Thanks, guys.
Aloha.